Well, I think that I'm live. Hey, here we go. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to my channel. I'm JL, and pleasure to see everybody here. Let me see you real quick. I got a bunch of people there. I do want to give a huge shout out to a brand new member. The Plot Hole joined the Godless Army. Thank you, bud. I do appreciate that. One of my fellow beardsmen of the apocalypse. Good to see you. And I see a bunch of amazing people in the chat tonight. Hey, Beaver C, good to see you. Yes, turning out to be an exciting Saturday. Tina Jones, excellent to see you. If you do have to crash, it's all good. I know you're way over there, way up there out east. So thank you for stopping in. Toaster, good to see you. Brand new, hopping in here. Good to see you. I just saw you in Discord a few minutes ago. KCA Randy, good to see you. Commander Darklight, one of my amazing patrons over at Week in Horror, and of course, a member of the Godless Army. Good to see you, sir. An amazing dude there. Beaver C, good to see you. Amazing. And I see Elizabeth Sylvester, Surf. Oh, so many amazing people out here. Fantastic. And I see Commander Darklight and the Plot Hole have begun running the brand new emojis that I put out. I see those emojis jumping in there. Yes, the new one. I updated the Flying Spaghetti Monster. I updated David Hume, the Atheist Badge, Aristotle, and I added some new ones. I added Darth with red duct tape. I added a Donut Earth, and I added Crying Otangelo. So I do hope you guys like those new emojis. I'm getting a little bit better at making them, and I'm making them look good so people can see what they look like. So really, really happy to see that. So thank you all so much. I hope you guys enjoy those. Elizabeth Sylvester, to ask you a question, your patron on Week in Horror is every single month. So at the top of every month, start of every month, it will renew, or basically it'll pay for that next month. You can suspend that at any time. So in case you need to, and it's not a problem at all, but that's when it does. At the top of the month, you'll see that. That'll go through as a new patron. So welcome, everybody. Road No Last Name, good to see you. Gabba to you, too. All right. So he's in a bit of a hurry, and this is somebody who I've spoken to on Discord quite a bit. I've engaged with him a few bit. His name, he goes by Diesel, and he's actually had the benefit, or he's actually had the fortune of appearing in a few Tom Rabbit videos as well, taking on the one and only, Double D, the Darth Dawkins, and in kind of incurring his wrath on a few subjects. But Diesel wanted to chat with me a little bit and ask some questions. He's in a little bit of a hurry because he's got to go to church tonight. So I want to give him the opportunity to jump on right here at the start. And so I welcome everybody to give a big warm welcome to Diesel. He's the first theist that I've had on my channel that I'm talking to live. So I'll add him to the stream. Boom! There's the man.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's actually this morning, so I live in South Korea, so it's Sunday morning.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, and it is Saturday evening here. And that's right. Good. I'm part of a group called the Four Beardsmen of the Apocalypse, and we have a member who's in Ireland. We have a member who's in Australia as well. So we got friends across the planet, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I just did a podcast with a couple of Aussies too. Are you familiar with Mr. Bear?
The name is familiar. So
he actually, he's actually a bear. He is the bear icon.
Awesome. Well, you've wanted to chat a bit. I know you have your own podcast, and I'll definitely let people kind of kick your details out there when you're done before you have to go. But you wanted to chat with me, and just kind of curious. So everybody knows I myself am an atheist. If you wanted to run it down philosophically, I'm a methodological naturalist. I'm a doxastic involuntarist. I'm a naturalist. So, but go ahead and introduce yourself to people in the chat so they know where you stand. Whatever information you want to give them to help them understand your worldview, where you're coming from, and then we can kind of dive into it, and we can run down what you want to talk about.
Well, first of all, I only understood about half the things that you said on there, so I don't really like to get caught up on all the philosophical jargon. I mean, I have studied philosophy. I've studied it. I wouldn't say extensively. I've taken all the introductory courses in college, so I am familiar with lines of reasoning. But I do, on the other hand, try to break things down as simple as possible. So I'm a theist. I was an atheist at one point of my life. 7 years ago, I had an experience with Jesus Christ. If you Google this, it is a North Korean atheistic philosophy. It's called Juche, and what it means is like self-reliance. So I got that tattooed on me inside of Israel as a non-believer. and about 5 months later, I had an experience with Jesus Christ. I actually got the date tattooed on my wrist, right here, 5/16, and that's when Jesus Christ came into my life and totally changed it for the better. So that's
Interesting.
I'm
Now,
a theist. I'm a Christian.
are you a part of any particular denomination, or are you're non-denominational, right?
Well, because South Korea, okay, so South Korea is a very like hierarchical society. It's the Confucianism if you get down to it, but that when the various missionaries came here, the one that really took off were the Presbyterians because they have like very hierarchical system, you know. So I do go to a Presbyterian church, but I wouldn't consider myself a Presbyterian myself.
Okay, so
Yeah, I
so it's
consider myself
kind of lack it's kind of lack of options is what you just by virtue of where you're living.
Yeah, virtually everyone here is Presbyterian. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So, and being that I began I started out as a Christian, I was raised in the faith. I was raised in Confirmed Methodist, and it was about the age of I would say about the age of 14 or is it 13? 13. I started asking questions, and things just stopped. Just weren't clicking, and so I went on a long journey, which invariably went through various stages. Just kind of like went from Confirmed Methodist all the way to atheism and pretty much all the varying steps in between, just trying to be as intellectually honest with myself as possible.
Sure.
And that's where led me there. So it's kind of like, it's the reverse for me. I started out a Christian and then wound up an atheist. You saying you had a personal experience that was enough to convince you that God was real. Don't suppose you have any evidence to back that up beyond your personal justification?
I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Well, I mean, I don't know what I have a picture or video. Is that what you're talking about of what actually happened to me?
I mean, you were convinced by your first person experience. You had a personal experience that convinced you of this, and so judging by what we know, the brain seeks patterns, looks for meaning in things, and especially when sometimes patterns aren't there, apophenia, pareidolia, and the like. So I'm just kind of curious how you were able to ascertain that this was like a divine experience and not just the brain looking for patterns, and those patterns happen to be God, like Jesus Christ in toast.
Well, yeah, Jesus Christ, that's a good one. Okay, so first of all, okay, so my parents are ministers, and they put a lot of pressure on me to go to school and to go to Bible college, even though I didn't like believe in God myself. But actually, like going to a Bible college actually turned me into an atheist myself, because just seeing the level of hypocrisy, and actually, to be quite honest, the level of people like Darth Dawkins at college, it literally just did it made me like not believe. So that being said, even while I was an atheist, I mean, I just had some experiences where God actually like spoke to me and done like miracles in front of me multiple times. And so like it was a huge level of cognitive dissonance where my atheism wasn't really balancing out. And because on another instance, I went to North Korea and I saw like the oppression of the people firsthand there, and it really put a crack in the ceiling of my atheism. And so it really started to make me question that. But again, I didn't even after God had proven himself to me, I didn't become a Christian as a result of it. It's like I still wanted to go in what I wanted to do. But yeah, I mean, I would say honestly, I know no one's going to believe this in the chat or anything, but I've probably had 20 experiences with Jesus Christ where he's done either spoken to me or done miracles or something like that. That's just like mind-boggling stuff getting materialized in front of me. Stuff.
Well, I can tell you that.
But yeah, I don't have like a video of that happening.
Well,
I don't have a video of that going down.
I can tell you honestly
kind of some randomly happens.
Well, I can tell you honestly that no one in the chat would tell you that you didn't have an experience. And even I will not tell you that you did not have an experience, that you experienced something and you interpreted it.
Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. I cannot hear you right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Hello?
Yeah, we got you.
I've lost you.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I can tell you that no one in the chat, not including myself, I would never tell you that you didn't have an experience. I have no doubt in your mind, and in my mind, that you had an experience. It's just the differentiation as to where the breakdown is your interpretation of that experience. That's what we would question, because I myself have had experiences that I attributed to that I attributed to things beyond what science would say. But then going back and then digging into them and looking at them, I begin, once I go and try to either reproduce them or I go to try to create, to really start diving into them and start taking in all the information that I just didn't include the last time to make sure that I was intellectually honest. I then realized that it was either coincidence, it was mistaken identity, it was confirmation bias. I was looking at the evidence through a biased lens. So I was like, I believe in God, so therefore I have an experience, and I interpret that experience through the lens of believing in God. And so that colors my conclusion. And that's invariably how I would do. So I would go back and look at things and be able to realize, oh, wow, if I remove that lens, then I see that my conclusion that it was divine or my conclusion that it was supernatural was completely unjustified because I was confirming it. I was like, I already believe in a thing, and I believe that it exists. And so now that I see this, I interpret through the lens that this thing exists, so this must confirm that. That's, confirmation bias. But and I understand that, and I mean, I know that you are going to have to go to church here shortly, and so I don't want to waste too much time just diving into these things and examining them individually. We could do that another time. But you had some questions for me, if I understand, right?
Sure. I mean, I can answer whatever questions you'd want. I wanted to dissect some of the things you had to say concerning because you literally phrased an argument I've never heard before. I don't really, I mean, after examining it a little bit deeper, I don't really think it pans out, but because I like whatever your perception is of God stuck in a 3D slice of maybe a multiverse or an infinite universe, it's not really relevant whether or not God is able to do something that you deem that he can or cannot do, so, but it's just say it was an interesting argument. I've never heard it formulated before. So about why God couldn't be omnipotent and
omniscient at the same time.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I can understand somewhat the line of reasoning behind what you were saying. I've never heard it said before, but
we can look at it really, really simply. So the three primary attributes that are given to the Christian God, how it's described, how it was defined for me when I was young, I've heard it defined probably hundreds of thousands of times before, just by virtue of reading scripture and everything, is that that this entity is considered omnipotent, is considered omniscient, and considered omnibenevolent. There are some people who argue that God will also be omnipresent, that God is at every point in time, but I think that gets into some complicated physics areas when you start saying that things are omnipresent. So we'll basically work with the three that I was raised on, the three that the vast majority of people are raised on, that God is omnibenevolent, God is omnipotent, and God is omniscient. So looking at the words and of themselves, just by virtue of their Latin, of their etymology, their Latin breakdowns, is that omniscience is knowing everything, is technically by that breakdown, all knowledge. Okay. And because the scripture continuously reinforces it, that God has infallible knowledge of all things, because God is perfect. So God has infallible knowledge of all things. Then omnipotent, all powerful, able to do anything. And then omnibenevolent, which is essentially all loving or all good or all benevolent. Okay. So these three things, when strapped to a particular thing, they have logical entailments. So in essence, the best way I could possibly analogize this is if I were to build two wooden boxes, and I were to paint one white and paint one black, like all black and all white, and I set them out in the sun, okay? In 5 minutes, which box is going to, will there be a temperature difference between the two boxes when I set them out in the sun for a few minutes?
Sure, the black one, but I just do want to preface something.
Okay. Well, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, so that's what I mean about the logical entailments, that by virtue of having a property, of having a particular attribute, there will be things that logically follow from this. that basically will have an effect on reality just by virtue of the definition.
Right.
So you can go and do your preface.
Okay, so first of all, the only one I think I've ever read from the Bible is that God is actually everywhere, because the Bible also says that God cannot lie, so he's clearly not omniscient, because that would
Or
be
no,
something that he could do.
he wouldn't be omnipotent if he couldn't lie.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
And and just to clarify on the omnipresence thing, when I think in the Bible, when the Bible says that God is everywhere, because of the time period that it was written, and the concepts of quantum dynamics and the concepts of physics weren't really a thing as far as like we understand them now. So when they were talking about omnipresent, they were saying in all places on the earth. So no matter where you are on the earth, like walking around, God is there. God is on earth. God is in heaven. God is everywhere. Because you have to look at the context as to what the people who wrote these things understood about the world. So you're talking about an author who wrote something to describe this entity, and this author had no concept that there was an entire other continent on the other side of the planet. That there was no concept of like North America or South America or even Africa at that respect. That there was no concept of an Arctic Circle or Antarctica or an Australian continent, that these things didn't exist for these people. They had no concept of science beyond the time period that they wrote them and the small little area of land that they existed on. So so we look at the context, and the context is when they say that the thing was omnipresent, most likely they don't mean that it was existing at all points in space-time. What they meant was no matter where you walk on the planet, there it is.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I wouldn't agree. I wouldn't agree with that assessment. So I don't believe that they're just talking about anywhere you go in the world, they're going to be in the world. So most Christians would actually accept that interpretation, just to let you know. But that being said, as I said, God cannot be omnipotent because there's certain things that logically cannot be done. So I don't accept that the premise that God is that you could pick up the Bible and read that God is omnipotent. So I don't accept that one. And then as far as the what's the other one? Omniscience. Well, this is a little bit more complicated, whether or not if we do have free will or not, because it would be something that he could potentially, and I'm not saying this is the case because I'm not sure if we have free will or not. But if we do have free will, like if he's genuinely chosen to blind himself in some sort of sense of the word, like for example, when Jesus came down, he clearly did not have omniscience. So God could potentially.
Well, Jesus didn't. Jesus didn't have omniscience. But that doesn't say anything. But the way to work around that is the three-property God, is the triune God, is by separating God into God, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. Now we've divided God into. But see, this is an aspect of Christianity. This is not something that came from Judaism, and so this is an evolution. This is an adaptation of the religion. When Christianity splintered off of Judaism, this is a result of that, because religions, just like cultures, just like languages, they evolve, and they evolve as the societies that they're born in begin to diversify. As more ideas come in, as more evidence comes in, as a greater understanding of the world, as technology improves, you will see culture, society, language, religion, all of these things begin to evolve along with them so that we can all live relatively together in harmony.
Right. So JL, the point I'm trying to make is that if I were to critique like 1984, and I would try to understand the implications of what was said back then and now and what it was predicting, I would go to 1984. I wouldn't go to someone's telling me what 1984 was about. I'd go and read the book itself. Yeah. So what I'm telling you is you don't have to believe in the Bible, okay? I'm just telling you from our perspective, like you can go after the Christian theology, but at least go after what we're presenting. And you're by to say God has all of these characteristics, you're not even giving an accurate representation, because you clearly see that God can choose, going by the source material. Again, if you want to pick up Superman and critique Superman, the powers and kryptonite or whatever, and say this is entirely fiction, that's fine. but at least going by the source material, I wouldn't pick up the things that you've said, and would be able to say that it might be somewhat illogical to think that God doesn't know everything. But if he chooses to forego some knowledge, it could be the case. That would be the only genuine way that we would ever actually have free will. And I'm not saying that we have free will,
yeah,
but if we do have free will.
but remember, that's a caveat that you're adding in order to get around the logical contradiction. Is in sense to say that yes, you acknowledge that if God were omniscient and always omniscient, eternally omniscient, then we wouldn't have free will. Because free will can't exist in the face of an omniscient creator. But you're putting the caveat that, well, maybe God blinds himself and allows us to have free will. But that can't really be interpreted anywhere in the Bible. But even if from my perspective, but you say that you could interpret that from the Bible. Now, but now we're getting into the question of hermeneutics. And hermeneutics are extremely subjective. Right,
but JL, go by the source material. If Jesus Christ comes down,
that's what I do. That's what I'm doing. But I can tell you straight up, there are theists out there that I will present this to, these logical contradictions, and they will flatly reject me on the face of it. They won't even try to wiggle around it or put caveats that can get God through those logical contradictions. They'll just straight up say, no, God is omnipotent, God is omniscient, and God is omnibenevolent. Boom, done, full stop. They're not arguing anymore. And that's because their argumentation is justified by their hermeneutics, their interpretation of the Bible. So if you have a different conclusion than they do, whose hermeneutics are correct?
JL, I'm telling you, the only one of those that I've read from the actual Bible is that God is omnipresent. Okay, that's the only one I've read. So I'm telling you now, you could define God. You can say, well, God is orange and God has a yellow tutu, and he's omnibenevolent and he's all these other things. And then whenever I show you that he doesn't have a yellow tutu, and you say, oh no, this goes against everything that you said. This disproves this other part. Well, I'm telling you, if you just actually read what the Bible says, Jesus comes down and he limits himself. So clearly what I'm telling you is if God wants to limit himself, that's a possibility that he has to do.
Yeah.
Then there's no contradiction. There's no contradiction.
But Diesel, that's what I'm running at. That's what I'm running at, is that's your interpretation of the Bible. And you can say that you're getting it directly from the source. And that's fine.
Yeah, I am.
But there are theists out there who will use your
I don't care about other theists.
But
I don't care.
Here's the problem. But here's the problem. I'm an unbeliever. And I don't think either, and I'm saying from my position, there is no way to tell whose version is the truth, because both of you and someone else will say that our interpretation, you just got to go to the text. I literally spoke with this. I was speaking with the Southern Baptist here in the States, and he said the exact same thing as you, and he does not, and his conclusion is nowhere near what yours is. So what I have to do as the unbeliever, I have to look at your position, I have to look at his position, and then I look at the source, which is the Bible, and I say, okay, so we've got the same source, we've got the same argumentation. You're using the same argument that this guy is. You guys are interpreting the exact same source, but your conclusions are different. So is that a fault in the interpretation, or is that a fault in the source?
Okay, so let me say this. So whenever I dropped out of Bible college, as I told you, I did actually go and get a degree in history, and then I did wind up going back to Bible college later on to appease my family. And I just will tell you this: after studying all the lines of argument and rhetoric and logic and reason and all that stuff, and then you actually take that to Bible college, you'll understand a lot of the stuff that they say just does not match up with logic and common sense, So, I mean, I will grant you that point, that a lot of Christians do not understand basic lines of reasoning and contradictions. But I'm talking about this from a philosophical standpoint. I'm telling you here's an example. If you were to say to me, well, God cannot be omnibenevolent. And again, that's not even something I ascribe to God. I don't say that God is omnibenevolent. That's not a property. I'm not entirely sure it can't even exist, but let's just say that is the case, and then you point to, oh, well, there's evil or out there. Well, I'm going to use some philosophy to try to combat that, right? I'm going to try to understand if it's logical for God to create only good, because to me that's a logical contradiction. Okay,
Well, what about
to
heaven?
create only good.
Isn't that what heaven is?
Yes, that is what heaven is. Yeah.
So God can create it.
Okay, but potentially though, what heaven I think would lack would be like an element of free will. So like let's just assume for a second God did create you in heaven, right?
Mhm.
That would, so you might say that would be the best possible scenario, right? But even according to the scriptures, that like people were not, or the demons or angels or Satan, whatever, they were not totally satisfied in that kind of environment, because you get up there and you're like, oh, we don't have any free will. Well, God would say something like, it's perfect.
But God could have made them satisfied, right? I mean, God
Sure, I guess.
God made all of them, so.
Okay. Let me specify a little bit more what I'm talking about. Because if God creates everything perfectly, then you're not going to be able to enjoy it properly, because you have no idea, you have no concept.
No. But God could just make me with that knowledge and understanding baked in. I don't need the experience.
Okay, so
he can just make me that way, right?
Okay, I guess if you're going to say that, that was one of the points you're making, and that's something I really don't have an answer for. I honestly don't have an answer for that. Because
so break it down. No, but well, hang on a second. Just to break it down so people in the audience can kind of follow through. Where I'm going with this is that if we simply grant that God is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent, then all manner of testing, all manner of judgment, all manner of experience, whatever, are all completely arbitrary in the face of an omniscient, omnipotent, and omnibenevolent creator, because it already knows the outcome regardless of the test. It doesn't need the test. It doesn't need all of these things to teach us things. So unnecessary, actually, suffering, evil, sin, all of these things are completely and totally arbitrary, because the omnipotent being who can do all things and knows all things could simply know to avoid it, and being omnibenevolent would have no reason to actualize evil, suffering, sin, and would just actualize everything in the end state with the understanding that, because God could do this. And it was saying, well, we need the experience in order to enjoy it. Wasn't no, it could just give us that. Because if the experience to enjoy something, this is something that an omnipotent being could give us. I just bake it into the mold. So I make humans in the end state, knowing what I want them to know, in paradise, no unnecessary suffering, no evil, no sin. Everything is perfection, and everybody worships me. And they have the choice, and they still have free will. So God could do this.
And they have free will.
Yeah, God could do this. Because remember, free will is really just just recognizing what all your options are. But if there are no other options, then that's not something you can choose. It doesn't mean you don't have free will. It just means that you can't choose to do that thing because you're not aware of it. It doesn't even exist. So I can't choose to do harm because doing harm is not a thing that happens. It's not a thing that exists. Like, I can't choose to suddenly fly. Well, in heaven, I can't suddenly choose to do harm because it's not a thing that's possible in heaven, because God made it that way. And all of the choices are our free will, like the range of our free will are all beneficial, joyful, plentiful. They're all great for everybody. And God could just make this. But God didn't make this. And because we observe this universe and we see unnecessary suffering, we see harm, we see evil, we see these things. I'm not going to say sin, because sin, pretty much presupposes that God exists, because sin only exists if God exists. But we see unnecessary suffering and harm. We see these things. Yeah. But this doesn't square with an omnibenevolent creator, because malevolence is impossible for an omnibenevolent being. Right. But if God sufficiently loves, but it could still be malevolent, then that actually squares. So it's not about redefining the word. It's about finding another way to use it. So we won't call God omnibenevolent. We'll say, no, God is just sufficiently loving, or God does not exist. Right. It's one of the two.
Okay, so first of all, again, I don't, my definition of God isn't that he's omnibenevolent in the first place. Okay. Once again, if we're going by the scriptures, well, clearly if you're committing and commanding genocide
or you're flooding everyone on the earth, clearly that's not an omnibenevolent person, right? So I'm going by, again, by the source material. So one, I don't even start off with that. That's not a position I think I need to defend. One, the only one that causes a lot of trouble, a big giant black hole in my position right now, I'm telling you, is what you just said, because I've never had to argue against that, because I've always been able to easily say, hey, maybe it is the case that God is. You want to talk about physics? Well, if the physicists are saying that there's 11 dimensions, well, one of the implications of a spatial fourth dimension is that we live in a multiverse, right? Because that is, in order to get a fourth dimension, a fourth spatial dimension, you'd have to stack up an infinite series of 3D planes on top of each other. Just in the same way, if you want to get like a 3D, you got to stack up an infinite amount of 2D, 2D planes. So the physicists say we can use like physics we can invent imaginary dimensions to play with this, to try to account for gravity and X, Y, and Z and stuff. And I kind of have the same exact position. Like, I don't, in any sense of the word, think that this is the only reality that exists. I believe in I believe in multiple dimensions in the same way that a physicist does. But I just say maybe in the grand equation of things, this might just be one scenario in which, there's an infinite number of copies of us out there. And this is one where we are experiencing this bit of freedom. I tell you the honest God truth, I'm not even sure. I don't even think that we have free will in the first place, if I'm being honest. But if we were to have free will, if we were to have free will here, this would be like one of 50,000 other equations that God is making. Very similar, like when Neo meets the architect in Matrix Part 3. So I don't say that this is the only slice that God is creating in the first place, but I really don't have a rebuttal to what you're saying. If I'm being honest, I need to think more time on that.
That's fine. That's a great place to be in. I often try to look to see if I can find myself in that place, because then it means I can ask questions, I can do examinations, I can talk with other people, get other input, and it means that I have not come to a conclusion yet that is potentially intellectually dishonest. I want to make sure that I come to the conclusion that is the best supported by the evidence and is the most intellectually honest, regardless of what I hope or regardless of what I want to be true.
Right.
Because that was my big first step, was realizing that what is true is more important to me than what I want to be true. Now, everyone, right. And that's kind of what I'm getting a little bit from you, is that everybody's got their own kind of concept of justice, of truth, of these abstract concepts about the world. And what I found by engaging, the more and more I engage with theists, is that everyone's got kind of their own slant on God. And the slant that they put on God they do it in order to justify their own kind of viewpoints of the world. Like, they'd like to see the world look this way, or they'd like to see the world operate this way. They have their kind of own sense of justice, their own sense of morality, like the limitations of morality. And so they will slant God to kind of support that. And it sounds a bit like you have a concept of what justice is in your mind. You have a concept of what balance is in your mind from a metaphysical standpoint. And that your God really works, because your God is, I can say honestly, the God that you're describing in your worldview doesn't comport with a lot of other theists. But you're not worried about that. And that's fine. But it seems like the slant on your God, the reason it's different is simply because you have either questions or understandings about the universe that other people don't, that other people either refuse to have. And so your God is adjusted to make way for the things the questions you have, and the personal take that you have on abstract concepts like justice and morality and guilt and truth and wisdom and all these other things. So it's kind of like you've adapted God to be more in line with how you view and how you interact with the world and how you wish others would interact with the world.
Yeah. So first of all, I don't want to discount what you're just saying right off the top, because I think just people in general, that just we're people of pride and prejudices inside of ourselves. So I think everybody is subjected to that. And like, let's take, for example, someone like Darth, who wants to abuse atheists and go after them. In his worldview, this makes sense.
And sometimes theists. because
Thanks,
you've been on the wrong end of the Darth stick a couple of times.
For the record, I have the Darth stick. Yeah, for the record, I have confronted him multiple times on his treatment of transgender people. He calls them transvestites, which I think is very,
yeah.
very not right. But
it's like looking into a mirror that goes back into the 40s. It's like, what am I looking at here? And if anybody listening to the chat, let's get some Darth duct tapes up on there. Yeah, abuse that Darth duct tape emoji, because a new emoji that I just recently added. But go ahead.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm not discounting what you're saying, because I do think just by nature of being people with blind spots that we probably aren't aware most of the time of our cognitive dissonance that we engage in on a daily basis. Like, there's certain, I engage in certain levels of cognitive dissonance that I'll be very honest about, but there are some that maybe I'm just blinded to, or just my own prejudices, or my view of myself that I know is distorted, that if I were to objectively take a look at someone else doing the same kind of actions that I was doing, I would be very quick to condemn and to judge that. So that being said, though, I have had some experiences, and this is, I guess you're going to say this is, as you said, a subjective experience, where I have had some revelations where God did actually show me behind the scenes to some of the stuff that you were talking about. But yeah, so you know what, interesting. So I will tell you this. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about this one because we briefly mentioned at the beginning, but so I'm going to throw this out there. I don't care. You could say what you want, but so I had the experience 7 years ago. Jesus Christ spoke to me. I was in America. I came back to South Korea. I had divorced my wife 3 years before that, or 3 years before. 5 years before, when I came back to South Korea, she got pregnant like the first night I got back, right? Our daughter was born in the Olympics. So like God restored me, and I was living here for 3 years, and I was like, so this is like the 6th year of me being a believer. And then I'm like, God, like, I don't feel like you've done anything in my life, like, because you basically, he spoke to me, did these miracles, and I'm just kind of like your average Joe Blow, just as sinful as your average person, like nothing special. I haven't done anything. And I asked for him to point me, direct me where I needed to go next. And so this day I prayed for a sign, like it's 6 years, and he pointed me down here to Mokpo, South Korea, which is the bottom of Korea. So I left Seoul, the capital where everything is happening, like the cultural and political capital, came down in the middle of nowhere. And the first week I was here, God wound up speaking to me for 7 hours straight one time. I actually left my house at 10 o'clock at night, went praying all night, praying for people, evangelizing, and I got home like at 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, now you could say that that's BS. I don't believe that. But I'm going to tell you what happened immediately afterwards. So within about 30 minutes of me walking into my house after this experience, God confirmed 4 things that he had told me within like 30 minutes. And I don't know, you're probably going to call it confirmation bias, but I've had things happen where people are confirming things that God told me. And then another time where like God told me, I got stuck in a situation where I was in the Philippines. I was participating in the sex tourism industry down there, and God convicted me, and I stopped, and I gave away all my money and stuff. And I went to the airport, and they made me pay an exit fee. And I was an atheist at this time, but I couldn't pay it because I gave away all my money. And as I was getting ready to miss the flight, God spoke to me and told me, look into my bag one more time, unzipped it. There was 1 note and 1 coin that equaled the exact amount that I needed to catch that flight. So I don't know, maybe you could say the law of attraction somehow. I mean, maybe from a pure metaphysical standpoint, maybe humans are able to manifest stuff like that. I don't know if you would grant something like that, but maybe I would grant that.
Well,
maybe something like that could happen. But
I would look at the evidence, and I would say, what's more likely? Like what would be more likely? That you had money that you forgot in your bag. Like you had money on you, but you forgot that you had it because it was not where you typically keep your money. So you forgot that it was there, or it fell out. You weren't aware that it was there until you double checked. What's more likely? You realized you had more money than you thought because you forgot you had it, or a supernatural being broke the laws of reality and conjured something into your bag out of nothing.
Yeah.
So I would look at those two things. I would say, let's take them both as possibilities. It's like, what is this?
Okay.
So what comports with reality? What comports with what we know about the laws of physics? Is God willy-nilly just breaking these things? Because if we were to say that God did this, that God materialized these things, this money out of nothingness and just materialized it in there, that has empirical effects on reality. There's a reason that we can't do that. There's a reason that human beings can't just there's no technology that can just materialize shit out of thin air. There's a
David
real
Blaine.
Well, okay. no. It's David Blaine. Yeah, it's an illusion. But even then, there's a reason it can't happen, because it's a direct violation of the laws of physics. It goes even further than that. It's literally a violation of the laws of thermodynamics to just materialize shit out of thin air. So either you had money that you forgot you had or didn't realize that it was in your bag, and you found it, and coincidentally it happened to be enough to cover the plane ticket out, or two, a supernatural divine entity that is undetectable in any way other than through your personal emotional experience broke the laws of reality to materialize this money in your bag. And then a couple with this chose you to do this for, instead of the person desperately trying to get home to view their child, instead of the person desperately trying to get home to get their home in time for their child.
Call. Hey, okay, so that is okay. Just stay with me for a second. I got to go down to church right now, but I could talk for maybe another 5 minutes.
It's all good. No, it's all good. It's all good. Everybody knew that you were gonna have to bug out here pretty soon, and we can definitely continue the conversation on your channel or your podcast, whatever. We can pick this up. I don't want to hold you up if you need to get ready or anything like that, because I know you probably got to get dressed and stuff. So.
Well, I'm already dressed. I'm just walking out the door right now. It's just because there's one more thing I do want to say. Because I know you two had a beef with each other, and this is why he basically cut ties with Antangelo. Is that correct?
Because I didn't really have a beef with Otangelo. Otangelo came onto my channel and started spamming stuff and doing all kinds, saying all kinds of crazy things. No. He had to get blocked. So
no. I'm talking about Darth. Darth cut ties with Darth cut ties with Antangelo because Antangelo went on your channel. So
yeah, because Otangelo debated me, and Otangelo wouldn't accept Darth's preconditions for debating me.
Right. So the only reason why I'm saying that is because that's just, well, you've already heard me. I mean, I put my money where my mouth is. I came onto another channel where Antangelo was hosting this, basically, for lack of better words, like this Christian circle jerk with an atheist guy, and they were trashing this atheist guy. I mean, they were dropping F-bombs on him and calling him an idiot and X, Y, and Z. And I stood up and I was in Antangelo's room. And I was like, man, this is not right. This guy's an unbeliever. You guys are treating him totally unfairly. And as soon as I said that, they dogpiled me, So it's like when I've stood up to Darth, he's gone after me multiple times. And so it's just not right. Like, I think I could have conversations with you. You saw the video where he would not let me have 2 minutes to actually explain my position, my nuance of saying, one, I would only support abortions up to 3 months anyway in the first place. He wasn't letting me get in that even in to say that. And then the second point I was trying to tell him, which he didn't let me say, was that I believe, being someone who's actually, I consider myself pro-life, like, we need to do 50 other things to try to solve the abortion issue. We need to do 50 things before we could do something like outlaw abortion. There's lots of other things we need to do. Like, for instance, we need to have like a universal health care. Like, I live in South Korea where we have universal health care here, and it's affordable and it's good. So that would be like the very first step I would want to see being done before we would do something like outlaw abortion, because I don't favor abortion. I'm not pro-abortion. I don't want to see women, this is my daughter down here. Children are the most amazing, beautiful thing in the universe. So I wouldn't want to see any woman doing that. But again, there's economic issues and social justice things. I think we need to address before we're trying to bring more children into the world first. But anyway, he didn't let me say that. And I do appreciate you giving me the opportunity to at least express myself. I really do appreciate it, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime. Definitely.
So you kind of called me last minute because you just sent me this thing like this morning. So we'll have to do this another time. I really appreciate your time, though. I really do. I really do, JL.
Absolutely. It was an absolute
You have a
blast.
nice day.
You too as well.
Okay.
And have a great night, okay? Or day.
Okay.
Have a great
All right.
rest of your
Bye-bye.
day.
Thank you. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye. You have a good night.
All right. That was Diesel. And Diesel's been wanting to talk with me for a bit. He's got himself a podcast that he wants me to appear on. And so we can talk about these various things. I think he kind of understands where I was coming from when I was making the argumentation of the logical inconsistencies about the Christian God, if it was defined a particular way. But I think he got across, and I think the audience saw that. So I think he's in a good spot. I think he's in a good spot to really start asking some questions if he's willing to be intellectually honest, which I think he is. I think he's a good dude. Just needs to get around that confirmation bias. Let's see who else we got here. I saw some other people jumping in, and let me see. What do we have? Who do we have? See, Tawny A came in with a quick drive-by. Thank you, Tawny. It's good to see you. Mr. Malort, good to see you too. See, sir, I saw Surf in the test. Marcus Dresden's up in the house. Beaver C had to punch out, but it's all good. Thank you, Beaver C. Ilya Latis, or Lates. I think it's Ilya, but it's Ilya Lates, I think. How did visiting the cult that is NK make someone move towards theism? I'm not 100% sure. I would have liked to have gotten into that story, like what convinced him of that, like the evidence that convinced him, but I may get into that with him another time. Let me see. I saw Charlie Welch is up in the house. Good to see you, Charlie Welch. Mr. Lord says, I took some acid and played Sabbath in 78 and saw God. I know that feeling. Absolutely. It was a basement of one of my old friend's apartments. And when the Oriental rug started breathing, I knew I was not alone. Let me see here real quick. See, Clive Wells is up in the house. Saw Clive Wells making ghost references in there, and Turing Test 2. If God exists, it is a jerk. I would agree. Turing Test, I absolutely would agree. Clive Wells, yes, wonderful. Omni, non-existent. All non-existent. Gotcha. And Clive Wells with the dig. So how exactly does all this justify Jail's belief in ghosts? Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. So, man. What else we got up in here? Let me see. So, Elizabeth, see you there. And I'm way behind because I was too busy chatting. Marcus Dresden, DD is 100% fucktard. Yes, DD is 100% fucktard. He absolutely is. See here. It'd be so funny if, like, because we were talking about him, if Otangelo or Darth Dawkins was actually up in the chat and they saw my emojis, they probably would not like those. You see, Logical Hillbilly, what's going on? It says with the Darth tapes across the board. I do appreciate that. Abusing the Darth duct tape emoji. Love that. See who else we got. So JL, yeah, on to thermodynamics. Here comes the ghost argument. I had to bring it up. And you know Clive Wells very, very well, unless I'm wrong, that materializing things out of thin air, that if God were to do this is like, would just break the laws of reality. I think I'm right on that. But you are the theoretical physicist, so I could be wrong. There may be something I don't know. I'll always go to you to check and see what I do not know. Let's see. Interesting. Turing Test 2 is the idea that your personal problem is of interest, is of any interest to the supernatural entity, but it has no interest in reducing the suffering of the sick and the poor. Exactly. These are just, the logical entailments of this thing. They just don't make sense. It's like no different than flipping a coin. It's completely random. Alpha K91 is in the house. It's Arf. Good to see you, Alpha. Excellent to see you. Peter Harrington up in the house. Good to see you. Going through. And Mr. Malloy, you're right. I really want to believe in ghosts. It would be cool if they were real. It would be cool if ghosts were real. Unfortunately, they are not. As they are defined, as like the disembodied spirits of the living. Yes, they don't exist. Let me see. Alpha K91. Oops, no. Alpha K91 says shirt. Let me buy a shirt. Yes. So the Bridge the Divide shirt. I'm currently working on it, trying to make sure that it looks good so that the kind of retro image looks good against the black t-shirt. So I'm getting those together and I will have them posted up, and I'm assuming I can like link them in the chat somehow. I will figure that out, but I will have Bridge the Divide shirts available for you guys to buy. And I'm going to do a whole new Teespring while I have those loaded up, and you guys will be able to get those. So look for those very, very soon. Fred Knotts, good to see you, says, Clive, well, so virtual particles are ghosts. Intriguing. Virtual particles are ghosts. Well, they do pop in and out of existence. So, but yeah, Clive will probably slap me for having said that, because it's a complete oversimplification of what they do and what they are. So let me know. Did y'all guys enjoy that? Did y'all enjoy that? Guys, gals, they and thems. Did you dig me having a theist live here on the channel? Is this more of what you want to see? I'd be very, very curious if you enjoyed that conversation. If you liked how it went, obviously, if you had a little bit more time, we'd get to go on a little bit longer and really, really dive into it. I so wanted to ask him questions about his evidence and how he, by what methodology that he went about it. Like how did you dive into this? What did you eliminate? How did you eliminate that it was the confirmation bias? And how did you demonstrate the truth that it was a divine intervention? I was very, very curious. Alpha K91 says, JL, was that the same Diesel that got kicked by Darth on Tom Rabbit's new video? Damn straight, that was him. That was the dude who engaged with Darth and got booted for his trouble, as we all do. Clive Wells says, friend, there are ghosts in quantum field theories, but they are not virtual particles. Fadiv Popov ghosts can be introduced to understand the path integral, etc. Right. I'll go with Clive. I'll go with the master on that one. Elizabeth Sylvester says, I love the donut earth emoji. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. I'm glad you enjoyed the donut earth emoji. Of course, all of the emojis all of our channel members, all of my channel members have access to the new emojis, the Aristotle emoji, the flying spaghetti monster emoji, the crying Otangelo emoji, Darth with the red duct tape emoji, donut earth emoji, all the emojis. And as we get more and more channel members up, I'll be able to unleash more and more very funny emojis that I think you all will enjoy. Cry Tangelo. Does it look good? Can you make out the tears on the Otangelo emoji? I'm just very curious if you can make those out. Just let me know. So if any of them do need to be kind of updated so that they look better or that they're more visible, let me know, and I will make the adjustments to make so people can really make them out. But I thought that was a good start. And the crying Otangelo was like a big request. People wanted crying Otangelo and Darth with red duct tape. So I made those, and now we can shut him down. Oh, thank you. Wrote it no last name. Who said for $2 American, $2 freedom dollars. Says, oh look, you can get super chats now. I can get super chats. I can actually make this into a job, which is kind of neat. It's pretty cool. I do enjoy it. I'm having a blast doing this. Commander Douglas says they could be higher res. I will look into that, into making them higher resolution. I'm still kind of playing with what YouTube settings are to just try and make the best I can. I will try and improve the resolution on those and see what I can do. Let's see. Fred Knott says, I can't wait till Otangelo comes to troll again and that emoji floods out. Absolutely. If Otangelo or Darth are ever in the chat, those are your emojis. So you could just shut them down. Just be like red duct tape or weep, Otangelo, weep, because it is all you can do. Copy paste your weepiness. All right. Let me see what else is going on here. I was kind of curious. I was kind of hoping by virtue of that, I might have another theist come on. But definitely let me know if you guys liked seeing. Oh, Elizabeth Fest says we can see the tears. Yes, we can see them and we can hear them. We can hear them, Otangelo. Trans Girl says, hey, Trans Girl, good to see you. Says, am I too late? Just not too late for the stream. But I did have a theist on that I was speaking to live, and he'd been wanting to chat with me for quite some time. So I wanted to make the opportunity, and so we chatted with it. But you can just go back. It didn't last too long. It lasted less than an hour. So we chatted about that and just about his experiences and everything. Hopefully in the future I'll have him on again, and because obviously it went really, really well. And I will chat with him, and we will dive into those experiences, was he able to determine? You see that we got right there on the cusp. How did you determine, or how did you eliminate the possibility of confirmation bias, or just misremembering something, and confirm that it was, and confirmed that it was a divine intervention that put money into your bag. I'm really curious. Alpha K91, thank you so much for $9.99 American. I do appreciate that. With no message, but I do appreciate it. Thank you, Alpha. You are awesome. And wrote a no last name because of Noah's flood. Otangelo's tears. Damn near, like wash me off of YouTube. Yeah, usually he'll just bug out. He'll like take off before he gets. If he starts getting emotional, he'll just like leave. He'll shut down and he'll leave before he gets too emotional. He doesn't want to look out of control, so he will. And the two things that I've noticed that will really trigger Otangelo is images of church marquees that have been screwed with to be like really inappropriate, or the Benny Hill theme, Yakety Yak. Like for some reason that triggers the fuck out of Otangelo, which I think is hilarious. I really, really do. I think that dude is just hysterical. Man, oh man. So by the way, plot hole, the invitation still stands. If you'd like to come on for the stream and say hello, I talk about the guy that talk about Diesel, who we just had him on, kind of discuss what you heard. Oh, Yakety Sax, my bad. Thank you, Chris Durham. Chris Durham music channel, of course he would know. It says Yakety Sax. Yes, for some reason it triggers the shit out of Otangelo. He fucking hates it. But guess I don't know. Maybe it's funny as hell. Fred Knott. Fred Knott says so. A hung Jesus on the cross hanging. Hung Jesus on the cross hanging. Which it probably would. Alpha Canada 1 says, bet those emojis will work like carrying a shotgun on the range. As long as you're packing, you will never see a panther. It's so true. Plot hole is finishing dinner. Cool. So Commander Darklight says, so Otangelo will play the I have a dinner appointment card, or I have to walk my dog, or I have to go to the dentist, or something of that nature. But yeah, he will, or he'll just bug out, and then he'll probably jump on one of his alt accounts. I can't remember how many we banned that day. The amazing mods in my channel shut down, I think like seven accounts, including Otangelo's primary account, just shut them all down. So I thought that was absolutely hilarious. Let me see what else we got here. Wrote in his name. He's callous to Yakety Sax now. He is callous to Yakety Sax now. Oh, that's hilarious. Alpha K91, have you guys seen the Darth Dawkins bingo cards? Yes, I have seen them. I've made one myself. I actually made a Darth Dawkins bingo card, and I wonder if I still have it. Do I still have my Darth Dawkins bingo card? Did I make a copy of it? I could have sworn I had it somewhere. Maybe I did. Maybe I got rid of it. I don't know. But I actually made it myself. I've seen a number of them that have various versions of, or like all the various lines. Yes, frankly, he uses so many things over and over and over again that your bingo card could literally, I think your bingo card could be like 36 spaces, and you can make those things huge. As many like little one-liners he's got, the things he uses over and over and over again. And I think yes, Alpha. Well, I don't know. Would those bingo cards work for Otangelo? He copy pastas a lot of shit. There'd be a lot of text on that thing. It's all copy pasta. Oh, funny stuff. Oh, let's see. Well, Otangelo is formulaic enough for bingo. So very true. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to be having. It looks like Johnny might be able to swing by, and I know that we've got today is Saturday, so I know that we also have the Four Beardsmen of the Apocalypse tomorrow in the afternoon. Remember, we changed times to accommodate PhD Tony being in Australia, and of course Irish Demon over in Ireland, because now we are spread out all over the planet. All we need now is someone in Russia or China to assist. But yep, that is the situation as it stands. We've moved those to, I believe, 5 p.m. Sunday night. There might be a slight adjustment from there. We may go maybe 6 p.m. to make it a little bit more palatable for people who are having dinner, so we don't interrupt that or delay dinner. But we will find that out. But I think it's probably going to be 5:30 p.m. Central Time, and that will mesh with, it'll be in the evening for our late afternoon for us, where it will be morning for PhD Tony, and the late evening for Irish Demon. And hopefully, and I want to wish Irish Demon all the best. I know he's dealing with a lot of stressful stuff over in Ireland, especially with I know things with Jen's dad are just kind of like just crazy right now. I hope he's doing better. I hope he recovers soon. So he may not be there, but he's got to deal with family comes first. So I totally understand that. All right. So much stuff going on. Hopefully, I wonder if there are any other theists that would come onto the show with me. I have to see if I could find others who would be willing to come on and have conversations, either conversations or actually debate me. I'm open to debate. If there are any theists that are out there that want to debate me, that want to put their stuff to the test, I'm always open. And of course, it's like, you bring your evidence. Yeah, this is what we do, is that we examine claims of evidence and we look at the argumentation and determine, does this logically follow? Does it logically follow? Does it comport with reality? Or is this just an appeal to emotion? Is it true because you want it to be true? Or is it true because it is true? Yeah. And hopefully I won't run into too many people who want to change the definition of the truth, because, truth, the thing that is true is that which comports with reality. Facts are representative of reality and justified. The conclusion is justified by testing, by predictive modeling, and hopefully avoid some of these presuppositional apologists who will claim that you can't know reality without God because reality could change at any given time, which makes no sense. It's utterly stupid. It is literally one of the stupidest arguments I've ever heard in my life. Trans Girl says, JL, a debate between us would not be any fun. Yes, I agree. That's true. This is true. I agree. I agree with you. It's kind of like a debate I had. I had a debate on Johnny's channel, like way back. Like it was like, when I first started up doing this content, I had a debate with a theist on Johnny's channel that he found me. Absolute, really cool dude. Totally amicable. And in the end, like somewhere in the middle of the way through it, we were getting going, and then he pretty much stated that, he believes in God. He knows it's an appeal to emotion. He knows it's not logically justified. He knows it's not rational. He believes in it because he wants to believe in it. He gets personal satisfaction out of it, and it makes sense to him. And he has no evidence he can show anybody. He accepts this, and that's pretty much it. That's how he lives life. And I was like, well, crap. I got nothing. And he cut my legs out from underneath me. And I was like, pretty much like killed the debate, like shot the debate in the head. And I was like, you've already accepted all the things I wanted to express, and that was pretty much it. It was humbling because I'd never run into such an intellectually honest theist before. Wrote it no last name says, can you get Matt Powell official to debate his giant inflatable banana? Yeah, I fucking love Mr. or Dr. Peel. Is it Dr. Peel? Is the name of it? Yeah, Dr. Peel, the inflatable banana that is in his backyard. Thank you, Simon Dan, for sussing that out and letting and figuring that out, and letting us all know so that we could have fun with that. Clive Wells, time was invented in Greenwich. That's funny. Greenwich Mean Time. What else we got here? Christopher Music Channel says, does Dark Knight apologetics debate? He's a flat earth debunker, but he's also a theist. I don't know. I don't know if he debates. I'd be very curious. I'll have a debate with anybody. If anybody that wants to come on and defend their theism, I mean, he's a theist who accepts science. The question then is he a young Earth creationist? So if he's not a young Earth creationist, that means he pretty much understands and he accepts science and accepts evidence and how that evidence is interpreted. And that means that we won't have to go to science in order to debunk God. Most likely, he accepts evolution because of the evidence. The evidence supports it, so he accepts the evidence. He accepts evolution. He accepts the fact that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old, 4.3. These are irrefutable. So the minute you start knocking it down, that science is that God, God is not responsible for science. That you understand these things. That the Bible is not reliable when coming to these conclusions about the world that these people thought that they lived in when they wrote this stuff. Then I wonder how far his theism goes. Maybe he's a deist, because I can agree. You could reason yourself to deism. You could reason yourself there. I got no problem with that. I see no issue with reasoning yourself to this point. But it's when you start strapping on the strapping on the descriptors, the attributes to this transcendental, outside of reality, outside of time being, and a being that exists for no time. Makes no sense. But yeah, when you do this, when you put these things in, when you start putting it on there, that's when you run into a lot of problems. So I'd love to hear what his take on that is. And Cliveville says, debate Herman Hudix. I don't know if that's a joke or a real person. You know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to look it up. This is obviously a joke that I'm not in on. See? That's how you do it. You present something, and then we test it. We find out that I am obviously not in on that joke. Marcus Dresden says, yes, he debated with Dapper Dino a year ago. So, yeah, I'd love to talk with him. Yeah, that'd be fun. Chris Durham's right. He may be interested to have a discussion with. I'd like to see, to what extent his theism goes. I'm very curious. Tim Boldman, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Says, is anyone open to God being a cosmic muffin? I think about as much as they're open to God being a cosmic teapot. I think holds about the same level of argumentation, to support that. Alpha Canada 1 says, JL, I want to see you debate Mr. Batman next. This is hilarious because Mr. Batman and I are actually at a stalemate. And the reason we're at a stalemate is because Mr. Batman refuses to answer a question that I asked him one point. And every time I engage with him, I always ask him, I was like, remember that question you never answered? I'm going to ask it again. I ask a question, and eventually he leaves. So he hasn't blocked me or anything, but he just won't engage with me anymore because I won't let him off the hook. He's got to answer the question. That is, how did he validate his interpretation of the Bible over anybody else's? Because there are theists that obviously disagree with Mr. Batman and his complete and total literal interpretation of the Bible. He says the Bible is 100% literal. That's the way it happens, from God's mouth to our ears. And there are theists that don't agree with that. And he just says, and when I describe, the process by which they get to this, he was like, he just goes, no true Christian. No true Christian would use hermeneutics in this way, would interpret the Bible in such a fashion. And I'm like, really? So no true Christian? And then he understands what he's doing there. It's no true Scotsman fallacy. And then he'll just run. So nowadays, when he sees me and I ask him a question, he just bolts. That's all he really can do. Let me see here. And Redding, Redding? I think it's Redding. Or is that an L? Retlink? Retlink. I'm going to go with Retlink. It says, Darth is a young Earth creationist. And you are correct. Darth is a young Earth creationist, but he's not a flat earther. And I actually addressed this in one of the little shorts that I did, that Darth is not a flat earther, but he is a young Earth creationist, which means that the science that demonstrates the spherical model, the oblate spheroid that is the Earth, Darth accepts that. He accepts the work that's done on it. He accepts that that's the conclusion. But he does not accept the science and the evidence that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old. So he is cherry picking. He is picking and choosing which science and which Bible verses he wants to accept or how he wants to interpret them. That's what Darth is doing. Like salad bar Christianity. This looks good. This doesn't look good. I'm not in the mood for beets today. And this is what he does. He fills up his plate and he takes that plate there. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I am going to shoot a link because I realized I never shot a link over to Johnny. So I will punch the link on there so he can join. Oh, Diesel sent me a message. Says, thanks a lot for that, bro. Really appreciate you having me on. Got a plan in the future. I'd love to have extended talk with you on my channel. I can't type. I apparently can't type. Absolutely. That is not how you spell absolutely. Thank you. Spell check. All right. Cool. Fantastic. Good dude. All right. Let me see here. Transgirl says, sometimes I am so happy I live in a country where church and state are strictly separated. Evangelics can't have any influence on our government, only if they are affiliated with a political party. See, that'd be nice if it was the same here in America. We have a lot of influence in our legislation from religious leaders. Not to mention, I mean, the fact that we have a president who's a Catholic, that's concerning. It's not about I don't pay too much attention to politics until a lot of people say it's short-sighted, but I have so much stuff going on in my life. If I worried about politics, I would probably have a hernia, or at least ulcers, really bad ulcers. So I try not to pay too much attention to it, like positions. I think Biden would have lied to us less than Trump would have. That's just my point on that. Let me see here. Oh, this is really cool. Diesel says respect, humility, empathy. Oh, Diesel wanted me to plug his channel. Or his website, which is rhepodcast.com. rhepodcast.com. They support we support anti-bullying campaigns and LGBTQ campaigns. And they said that they would make a donation in my name. How sweet. What nice guys. What awesome guys. Very cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. So yeah, anybody wants to check that out, see what they're about, rhepodcast.com. Romeo, Hilo, Elephant. That's not the actual alphabet. That's not the actual military alphabet. Alpha, no. Alpha, no, it's not Alpha. Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Delta, Echo. So yeah, that was it. Romeo, Hilo, Echo podcast, rhepodcast.com. So check that out. Let me see what else we got here real quick. Oh, I see somebody in the green room. I'm going to go grab him right quick. Echo, Echo, Echo. Yes, I see you. Give me 2 seconds. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Robert Caslow's in the house. Says, what's up, my globetards? Hell fucking yeah. And Tim Boldman says, how many Christians understand the root word of hermeneutics is based on the god Hermes? Interesting point. Good point. Oh, too funny. Let me see here. Okay. And Robert Castle says, is Hovind in jail? I don't think he is. I think he's out on bail. But the guy who follows that stuff might have the answer. Mr. Johnny O.
Welcome back, horror fans. It's Friday night. I'm sorry. We're on the right channel.
Wrong channel.
No, I was telling you what the word was. I wasn't saying there's an echo. I wasn't saying echo. I was saying echo is the word you were looking for. No, he's not in prison. He bonded himself out same day. Yeah. Because that guy is amazingly stinky piece of shit. Have you heard the video or the audio from when this happened?
Wait, with the audio from when?
From when he threw.
There's audio of this.
Yeah.
No, I have not heard the audio of this. This is new.
Yeah. I got it to you. I was sent a couple of things to check out. I haven't been able to sit down and look at all of them because they're very long videos, like hours long.
Damn.
But
who the hell was recording?
I'm not certain. Let me see if I can find it really quick.
Was here while you're looking at that. Fred Knott says, I follow politics. It's frustrating. And it's good that you do. So you do it so I don't have to. I appreciate that, Fred Knotts, because I don't want to follow that stuff. It's way too much of a shit show. I see that Alpha K91. Is that in reference to the GameStop lady who got mad about that, or did I fuck up and misgender you? There's so many things going by so fast. I want to make sure I didn't screw up. So if I fucked up, I'm sorry. But if you're referencing that video, then I get that. So let me know, Alpha K91.
It's ma'am.
So I want to make sure I didn't screw up. Robert Caslow, yes. Hell fucking yes. I'm going to go watch the next Halloween. Halloween Kills. I will be there to watch that. It's either going to come out digital or be in theater. Either way, I don't know. I will go and watch that movie. I absolutely will see that movie. I love the first. I loved Halloween. I'm going to see this one.
All right, I'll send you the links in your private personal box.
Oh, cool. Fred Knott says the rumor is he recorded it himself.
Yeah, so he used to have this. Well, he still does. He has this narrative of Miss Lincoln that she is bipolar.
So now he's going to gaslight her.
Trying to gaslight her.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, so there's that one, and then here's the other one. Oh, shit. Damn it. I hate when that happens. It takes you all the way back to the top.
Wrote it no last name, says Jail. Hovind released the audio himself, claiming that it exonerated him.
Hovind's a fucking moron.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Let's say it does. Let's say the audio does exonerate him. He's a moron for releasing that audio.
Mm-hmm. He's very stupid. Okay, awesome. Cool.
Like I said, they're long. Very long.
It was dumb. He should have just handed those to his fucking lawyer and kept his damn mouth shut.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, apparently.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Otangelo is in the house.
Otangelo, where's he at? Where's Otangelo?
Apparently, Darkberry. Okay, because I think that's one that has not been blocked on my channel. It says Trollin' Rollin' can begin. Otangelo here.
What's up, Otangelo? How you doing, Otangelo? I'll be nice to you. Everybody else is going to be mean to you. I'll be nice to you until you start that silliness. But I'll be nice to you for a little bit.
Well, welcome, Otangelo. Welcome, Otangelo, with the Otangelo emoji. So those members who are in the house, please feel free to use the Otangelo emoji to welcome Otangelo to the chat. This is your opportunity.
Trans girl, the eye is getting better. I've been on a whole mess of friggin' just all kinds of steroids and antibiotics and drops and all this shit. Yeah, it's getting better.
I offered to come over.
Elizabeth, thank you very much.
I offered to come over there, Elizabeth, with some Vaseline, Vaseline, a spoon, and a lighter, and we'll just go ahead and handle it. And
that wasn't for my eye.
You had.
I mean, did you expect any less?
No, of course not. Absolutely not. You just think, but you're the thing is, you think you're talking about the back end. I'm talking about the front.
No, I was talking about the front end.
No, JL, we were talking about sounding the whole time. It doesn't go in that way. It doesn't go in that way. This is not sexy.
This is a different way to play spoons, everybody.
This is boss level swords.
Yep.
Boss level swords.
Boss level Dungeons and Dragons even.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So apparently Robert Castle says Otangelo got kicked off Talk Heathen again. Oh, Otangelo. How you get
Otangelo, yeah. How do you get kicked off of Talk Heathen? Come on. Come on, man.
And of course, no, it was not.
Oh, okay. There you go. Solves that.
All
right. So watching your I don't know if I'm going to call it a debate. Watching your discussion with
discussion.
It was very cordial with Diesel. I think Diesel is one of the few that
I'm sorry. Gives the song Spoon Man.
Oh man.
Come together with your hand.
Don't get yourself struck now. Call it a cover version and make you share half your revenue.
That's true. This is true.
But no, he's one of the few that I think I don't want to say he's intellectually dishonest, because I don't think he is. I don't think he's intellectually dishonest. I think that he's got some different ideas than the usual crowd that runs with Darth Red Tape.
Mm-hmm. Darth Red Tape.
Yep. Red Tape Darth. So yeah, I think that he's definitely an interlocutor that we could get down with. Somebody that he's one of those guys you could you go to the bar and have a beer with.
We actually have a cordial conversation on this, and I know that he won't suddenly pop out and go, "Well, it's I have no justification for any of this. It's just something that I believe in because I want to, and I don't really try to spread it to other people, but it's something I live and I accept because I like it and I want to."
Yeah.
Well, God bless
I know that was so funny. That was so funny watching you just Like you got your yacht is ready to set sail, right? And you got this thing
what
on
an
there.
excellent
you-
reason to lose, though. I mean, right? That's what I'm going for, right?
It's kind of funny because you lost, but you didn't lose.
It's kind of like we're about to run this race.
It's like kissing your sister.
Oh, got some people in here. Let me see.
Yes, Elizabeth, I am taking care of myself and the family. Well, the big kids, it's weird over here right now. We got a notification that our youngest was in close contact with somebody who has the Rona. So she is quarantined upstairs with Erica, and I've got the other kids. So we've, like half house. But for son of a monkey, you've been to my house before, so the little love seat that I have downstairs I've redone the whole studio area. I really want you to come out so you can check out the new podcast layout.
Yeah, when we go out for TFW, I'll be down there early. So cool. I'll be able to swing by.
Sweet. But we've got, like I said, that little love seat thing used to be in front here, is on the side. And that's what I'm trying to sleep on. My back is so fucked up. Oh man.
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
See, Joe Whip says, I've seen more of Johnny O this week than my wife. Jeez,
I'm sorry.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Here, hang on. Let me help you out. Wait.
Uh-oh.
There, now you don't have to see me.
Oh, let me see here. Rhoda No Last Name says, JL, should I be concerned that my proctologist had both his hands on my shoulders?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because they're not both supposed to go on the shoulders. One goes on the shoulder, the other goes on the hip. Come on.
Yeah, that's how we do it. I think Otangelo actually took that seriously. So Omni Oros Boros is in the house. Says, "What's up, beardos? Not much, good sir." And Omni,
like that.
Be sure, beardos. And Omni, be sure you get your shipping information to me for winning the Week in Horror Trivia this week, so I can get you your shirt.
It's a good shirt. You're gonna like this one.
Yes, I need
your shirt. It's a King Shaming, right?
Yep, King Shaming Cannibals.
Yep.
And I need your shipping information and your size. Throw your size in there. So I want to make sure you get the right size. And then I will keep track of that for future t-shirt wins.
Let's see here. I'm going to make a stone cold guess, Omni, about your shirt size. I'm going to say large.
Does Omni Boros wear a large? I'm very curious myself. Let me see here. Elizabeth Sylvester says, hope you're well, taking good care of yourself. Your life is precious. Oh,
I am taking pretty good care. I'm just
so precious.
My precious. Oh,
Transgirl says, is there a link to the Hovend audio?
There is. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna get you.
Now you're gonna get me knocked down.
Son of a monkey's uncle. That's going to leave a mark.
Oh, Omni says that he emailed me the information. Let me check. Week in Horror. I got that. There's my endemic stuff. I hope it didn't get caught in the spam. Let me check the spam folder.
Stupid spam. Nobody likes your canned meat.
No.
Well, that's not true. Hawaiians like that shit. Go gadget dildos, is Robert Caslow.
No, Omni, I did not get it. Did you get it? Send it to weekinhorror@gmail.com. Let me go ahead and.
Have you figured out how to show pics from Discord on screen yet?
Discord?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I could bring up the image, and I know how to share the image.
That's what Commander Darko was asking.
Oh, okay. Figuring out how to show pics from Discord screen. Yes, I have. I can pull it up, and I can actually make the image, and I can just share my screen and share that image over there.
Oh man, I have been doing some new stuff with Streamlabs.
Really?
I'll have to show you what I've got going on. I'm probably going to go back to Streamlabs exclusively now. Some of the newer stuff that I've done. I spent the majority of today working on the new Streamlabs setup.
Streamlabs.obs.
Streamlabs
okay.
OBS. Yeah. I'll probably keep StreamYard for a little while. There's a lot of things that StreamYard does that Streamlabs OBS didn't do. Now the Streamlabs OBS does do.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sort of, but it's still the ease of bringing guests on with StreamYard. It's, you send them a link and then that's it. That right there is still, you still have to do like OBS Ninja and all that other stuff to go into StreamYard or Streamlabs, but whatever.
Yeah, that's what I dig about StreamYard.
Yeah,
StreamYard,
super simple.
It's super simple. It's easy like that. And with the amount of time that I spent a week in horror, not be able to jump on this one, then I really dig this one. I can just go boom, created, bam, there you go. Thank you. Boom, boom, boom. And then I can just put up whatever I can like click on things and put them directly from the chat up onto the screen so people can see them. And let me see here. What was this? I see some people going off on Otangelo already. Otangelo says, an atheist saying that there is no evidence leading to God is the same as a fish in a lake saying there's no evidence for water.
I don't know if I would agree with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that either, because at least the water can be demonstrated.
Yeah. Like conclusively demonstrated.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't follow, Otangelo. That's a bad analogy, as usual. Robert Castle says, is Whitsitt still in jail?
No, he's not. He was out pretty quick.
Oh, okay.
That was one of those ones they were just trying to prove a point. How expensive is StreamYard? It is. I mean, you can do a free version. Doesn't cost anything. You're limited on how many guests and how many hours you can run. You can go to the next one up. It's $25 a month unless you do it for the year. Then it's like $100 for the year or some shit like that. So, yeah.
Okay. I see what Commander Darklight wanted me to do. And thank you, Elizabeth Sylvester says, your life is precious too, Jail. I appreciate you both. Oh,
it is.
We appreciate you deeply.
Okay. This is a hard left from what we're talking about because it just is. I spoke with Eugene Friday about some stuffs that we've got coming up. And you know what stuffs I'm talking about.
Coming up this upcoming Friday?
Well, no. Just in general. Things that are coming up in general.
Oh, son of a bitch. And the 6 weeks begins on the 29th.
Yep. It begins tomorrow. Okay, look. After we're done here, I want to speak with you one-on-one because the idea that I gave you the other day is perfect. If I read the rules of the contest correctly.
This is
right.
The not Rack Focus.
Not Rack Focus.
This is the film of the cult. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So if I read the rules correctly, then all we're waiting on is a subgenre. And the idea that I gave you, you could bang out an 8 to 10 page script that has good skeleton pieces, has a solid beginning, middle, and end. And then as we get the subgenre, you can go back in and tweak it to make it whichever, if it's comedy or if it's action or if it's sci-fi, whatever. You can go back and make some easy tweaks. We already have location. We already have actors. I'm telling you, JL, we'll talk about this after we get off here.
Definitely. Oh, here's what Commander Darklight wanted me to share.
Now I know why they broke up. What? I'm just busting your chops, Tangelo.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh, and then there's the other one that I want to talk to you about, the result of the original Rack Focus.
Oh, the one that we were in?
Yeah, the one that we did.
There's something I don't know.
The one that we won.
Yeah, is there something I don't know?
No, I just wanted to talk to you about it. There's some ideas percolating that Eugene and I spoke about. We spoke at length about this stuff. He had to return my lenses. The ones that he used to film somebody ripping somebody's eye out and then choose that exact moment to say, hey, check it out. This is a movie I'm working on, Johnny.
So true.
As your eye is rotting out of your face.
Well, taking a look at the chat, it looks like...
Where's Tony?
I see PhD Tony said hello. There it is. It says hello, people. PhD Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Don't forget, Tony, because Tony, I know Otangelo is one of your favorite people. Don't forget, there are emojis. And there's an Otangelo emoji. And it's amazing. Everybody seems to love it. So apparently, what is this? Okay, he's engaging with the oh dang, because this is Otangelo. He's got Clive Wells in the chat. Hey, Clive Wells, you are correct. A universe without God would look exactly like the one that we observe. So why make up an irrelevant, impotent deity? Good point. And whereas, I mean, that makes sense. And whereas Otangelo answers with stuff like, no, because photosynthesis is irreducibly complex. No, it's not.
Well, I mean, it can be for some people.
If you ignore all of science, sure. the irreducible complexity of the human eyeball. Right. Yeah, I think it's been broken down a few times.
Thank you for using that one again, you asshole.
Let me see. There would be
I'm just kidding. You know, I'm not sensitive about that shit.
Oh, shit. I didn't even connect it.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. You were like,
eye references.
Oh, well, yeah, right. Yeah.
There Angelo says there would be no universe without God. There would be no universe without God. The Big Bang was finally tuned in the order of 10 to the 400. Which is probably how he would say that. But
you could say I have an eye for detail.
And then Elizabeth Sylvester. Wrong, Otangelo. Wrong.
Are you kidding? I think I would get my right eye for it. All the Wayne's World 2 ones and so fun.
Yes, Robert Caslow. Excellent question. Why does God extort everyone with Jesus?
Because that's what parents do with their firstborn and only children.
This is true. Hey, Dad, look at me. Look at me, Dad. Hey, Dad, look at me. You know, I don't know. You probably haven't seen that is a cyanide in happiness short. It's like, hey, Dad, look at me. Look at me, Dad. And then God's just like, she's always like, Dad, look what I can do. Look what I can do, Dad. It's hilarious.
You ever get the feeling that maybe Stewart was Jesus? You know what Stewart I'm talking about.
Stewart.
From Mad TV? You know what I'm talking about. Look what I can do.
I have. Oh, it's been so long, Matt. I mean, come on. If you said like SNL or like that, I mean, Mad TV's been. It was only around for 3 seasons, and it
doesn't matter. It was Stewart.
I'm not real. I'll have to go back and watch it again. Why did it sound very much like Carl? You killed a man, Carl.
Carl. I used to.
You haven't seen Llamas with Hats, have you?
No. I mean, I don't know. I might have. I don't.
It's about the two llamas. They each wear hats, and they have and then one of them in there they live together, and then one is named Paul and one is named Carl, and then Carl is constantly reacting to the things or Paul is constantly reacting to things that Carl does, because Carl's behavior is increasingly more sadistic, psychopathic, and violent, and it just gets progressively worse as the it's a 12 episode YouTube short. Literally the whole thing you could fit into like 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes long, 12 episodes. It's hilarious. Carl.
I'll have to check it out. No, anytime somebody goes to that Carl stuff, it's I go to the Walking Dead memes.
No, that's not Carl. That's Coral.
Coral. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah.
It's Coral.
Those Walking Dead memes, the dad joke ones were fucking great.
Hey, Coral. Why didn't Barbie ever have any kids? Because Ken came in another box. He came in another box. Coral. Dad, stop it.
Yeah, those are so funny.
Oh,
I was going to get you a burial plot, but I figured that was less. That was the last thing you need. The last thing you need, Coral.
Carl, what happened to his hands? I don't even want to spoil it. I want you to watch it.
I'll check it out.
Alpha K91 says AJ Heeb, a disembodied self-created mind, no less. What a bunch of BS. Yes, it is a bunch of BS.
What's the difference? What's the difference between a snowman and a snow woman, Carl? Stop it, Dad. Snowballs, Carl. Get it? Snowballs.
Snowballs.
So stupid.
Robert Caslow challenges says no, Kenny is Jesus.
That's true because he always comes back.
Yeah. Let's see the plot hole. Roden Ellis name says your transition to becoming a beholder confirmed. He's got the beard like the tentacles or something, and then there's the one feet.
The one eye.
Oh, wow. Okay, really, Otangelo, near-death experiences, really? Come on.
Okay, so if we didn't produce, what is it, DHT? What is it? What is I'm looking for?
DMT.
If the brain didn't produce DMT, you might have an argument.
Yeah, you just might.
The problem is, okay, so here's the problem with it, right? Now we can sit there and say, as looking at it from a scientific point of view, saying, well, it's DMT the reason why you have these experiences. And the theist could go out and say, well, no, the reason why you have the DMT is because God put it there, right? So it's it's paradoxical on their end. The issue is, couldn't we have those near-death experiences without the DMT? Wouldn't that be a better... It just seems weird.
And I think that, and we can. The God helmet proves that. That just by virtue of electrical stimuli in the right places, we can simulate, we can basically cause a near-death experience, just the experience in and of itself. The euphoric feeling, the seeing things, initiating hallucinations, auditory and visual. That the God helmet can do all this. So we know that it's science, bitch.
That's where I was going with this, right? There are so many different things that we can do to simulate and stimulate those types of experiences. And it just seems to me that it's really unusual that this all-powerful being would say, hey, here I am, but here I'm not.
Tangelo. Matter does not produce consciousness? But the problem is...
Okay, I can grant you that.
No, well, consciousness is an emergent property of the matter, because without the matter, you would have no consciousness.
But not everything that has matter has consciousness.
This is true, but the things that are conscious have matter attached to them, and then we actually know how we can tweak that matter to affect the consciousness in predictive ways. So the consciousness presents in this particular way. We know where to stick the brain or cut things out, or remove things from the brain or whatever, or even stimulate the brain. And we know how the consciousness will be affected by the areas that we stimulate. So we do have a good understanding as to the relationship between consciousness and the brain. Now, if you destroy one, the other one disappears. So yes, just like a heartbeat is an emergent property of all the cardiac cells working together, consciousness is an emergent property of all the of your neurons working together.
Otangelo, here's the problem with what you just said. So stones have consciousness. We've already addressed that, right? The problem that you have when you say so stones have consciousness. No, they don't have consciousness. But everything that has consciousness is made up of matter. Everything. There's no observable consciousness that is not made up of matter. Now, that does not say that it does not mean to say that everything that is matter has consciousness. No, we didn't make that claim. We actually kind of, started out there. We started out there saying that no, things that are not everything that's made up. This table doesn't have consciousness. This microphone doesn't have consciousness. I do. Okay. I mean, yes, we both made up of some sort of matter, but I have yet to see anything that is conscious that is not made up of some sort of matter. This doggy here has consciousness. He's consciously trying to get food, even though he's already been fed.
And on that note, we're talking about such amazing things. We have we're
real person.
We're 75% of the way to a full beardsman.
This is a beardsman pre-show.
PC Tony.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Yes,
we can. Holy shit!
Yes, we fucking can.
Yes, we fucking can.
How you feeling, Tony?
Absolutely. I'm feeling better. Bit of food always goes down well. So yeah.
What'd you have?
I had lasagna.
What kind?
It was beef lasagna. There was
Did it come in a package or did you make it yourself?
It came in a package. At the moment, I am trying. I am eating cheaply at the moment. So
Do what you got to do. I understand that.
yes. So how is everyone?
Good.
Yeah.
Here I was hoping for something like, fricasseed roux tail and deep fried Sydney funnel web.
Yeah.
Deep fried Sydney funnel web. Yeah, that's a regional delicacy.
You get those by the bag, right?
No. Yes, you do. You can buy them down at the stores. They're kind of like what you guys use for potato chips. Darkberry, you're just starting with a complete falsehood.
He's coming right out swinging.
I mean,
yeah, there is no way to demonstrate that the age of the Earth is 6,500 years. There is not a single peer-reviewed article that will support that conclusion.
We could do that if we ignore all of the evidence.
If we
ignore
science.
Yeah, as long as we ignore all of the physical evidence that we have, you can come to that conclusion. And if you want to ignore all of the physical evidence, that's fine, right? If you want to say, I'm just ignoring all of the evidence and I'm choosing to believe that the Earth is 6,500 years old, fine. You can live in a delusion if you want. Nobody can force you to be sane and correct. Okay? It is your right to choose not to be either of those things.
Yeah, Tony, Darkberry is Otangelo.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, okay, yeah, just making sure, just like that. Because not only that, he's calling you out directly, so he's coming out swing. Otangelo, this was a whole lot of wind up for your pitch to go right in the fucking dirt. I thought you had more than this. I really do. There was something else. Yes, Fred Knott says, debate him on it, you coward. You backed out of the one you were challenged to, bud. You ran away. That's the truth. You were like, I'll debate him. No, I'm not going to debate him. You're the one who backed out of that one. So that got to hold that to you. I mean, you showed up for mine. But then again, we weren't debating the stuff that PhD Tony will literally hydraulic press you in. So that's just
I know this again out of left field, but I found the best one that's the most fitting, by the way.
Huh.
What's the difference between Rick Grimes and Carl Grimes?
What?
Rick Grimes has 2 eyes. 2 eyes, Coral.
And I'm glad that he brought. I'm actually kind of curious. He brought this up. So he brought up the what is that lady's name? Mary
Magdalene?
No, it's a dinosaur thing.
A dinosaur. Ooh, I like dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs are badass. But the soft tissue is that Mary Schweitzer? Yes. Mary Schweitzer of North Carolina State found collagen fiber.
Did God write the Bible, Darkberry?
Oh, okay. Well,
the Bible says it's 6,500 years old. God knows more than Tony. If God exists, doubtless he knows more than me. Did God write the Bible?
Is anyone else doing that?
Yeah, it's Tony saying he had a problem with it last time.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Tony got all demonic on us.
That's the rage.
It's the rage.
It's coming off of it. It's increasing his electromagnetic field.
Lord Jesus, let me help this child.
As Tony's rage increases, the electromagnetic field just begins to penetrate everything. It's just distorting all the shit around him.
I finally figured it out, Otangelo. The reason why Tony goes so hard against your God belief is because Tony is God, and he doesn't want you to know.
He's sick and tired of your misrepresentation. It's like we're all going to die, find out Tony's gone. Tony's just looking at something. He's like, dude, just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop it.
Stop. Oh God, is this any better?
Yes.
I'll turn off the Blue Yeti and go with the inbuilt microphone on the.
Your Yeti is going out. Damn it! I have to get you a new one.
So yeah, it's just and in fact, the Bible says a bunch of stuff that is demonstrably incorrect, Otangelo. So if God is infallible, God demonstrably did not write the Bible. The Bible says, claims that something like 2 million Jews wandered in the Sinai Peninsula for 40 years. This is a journey that you could make literally going Indian file in a couple of weeks. There's no archaeological evidence for it. There's no documentary evidence for it. There are no records in the corresponding archives that are available to us. And furthermore, we know from archaeological evidence that the place that they were fleeing to, Cana, had actually been conquered by the Egyptians at the time when this was occurring. So they were fleeing from captivity in Egypt to another piece of Egypt.
In Egypt.
Yeah. The entire story seems to have been written down in the 6th century BCE as a metaphor for the return from the Babylonian captivity. That's what it's obviously a metaphor for, and they've chosen to recast it as something else. But It's got no historical validity or historical accuracy at all.
It's kind of like the influence of the Hammurabi Code on Mosaic law. Is like, it predates it by hundreds of years. So what did Moses have to work off of? And it's kind of like, okay, well, we need something for these. What do the Jews know? So you can pretty much adapt existing legal structures, or like the rules that you go by. You can adapt the ones that you know to kind of better suit your religion and your faith to make so. And that's why if we line the pair of them up, the two of them side by side, there's way too many similarities for them to be have sprung up. And really, because there's adjustments there specifically for the Jews. But if you take those adjustments out for the Jews, it's pretty much the Hammurabi Code. So unfortunately, unfortunately, all the shit at Mount Sinai, bullshit.
Well, okay, so here's a problem that every theist who gets into these types of debates should have. There's a reason why it's called faith, because there's zero evidence to back up these claims, right?
Well, I mean, it's not zero evidence. I mean, there is reasonable historical evidence that Jesus existed, for instance, and was executed. There was a temple in Jerusalem. Whether or not, but your central point is it's faith. Tangelo's nonsensical babblings that actually it is an inescapable logical conclusion of physical reality is completely inconsistent with that. You can choose to believe a matter of faith, but you can't say that it's the only conclusion a sane person can come to, because there are lots of sane, intelligent people with vastly more detailed understanding of the evidence that come to different conclusions. Anyway, sorry, I cut you off there.
No, exactly right. The funny thing about spirituality and science, I think it was you, one of you guys told me this one, that if you were to start everything over, level the playing field, erase everything that we know, erase all human knowledge, or all the way back from the beginning, religion, we would still get science and religion, except one of them would be the exact same going forward as it is today. The other one would be completely different.
Yep.
And the evidence is the fact that we have, how many religions do we have?
Christianity alone, you're pretty much breaking, like, I think the last I checked was like almost 47,000 different denominations of Christianity. With another two popping up
I find that's a little, I think that's just a little bit, that's a little weird, right? Because I mean, ultimately, when we're looking at it, we can realistically break up the Christian religion up into probably 5 main groups, maybe 6, and everything else is just subsects of those other groups. Like you got the granddaddy of all. Splinter factions. Catholicism, baptism,
and you got stuff that doesn't even last very long. This is a bad example, like David Koresh's splinter faction off the Southern Baptist Church.
They're still going.
Okay, so that group, I could have heard that broke off. And there was a split off, and then there was a split off, and then David broke off of that.
Right.
So there was a splinter faction of the Southern Baptist Church, and that one contained David Koresh, and then David Koresh caused a schism in that broke them off into the Branch Davidians.
Right.
So okay,
yeah. Can I just answer Atangelo?
Yes.
Atangelo just gave a reference in the chat. That reference says that the common ancestor for the 147, the common female ancestor for the 147 people sampled lived about 200,000 years ago. That's your evidence that the Earth is 6,000 years old.
Those numbers match.
No, it's okay. So let me get this straight. Otangelo in the live chat, and I put the reference up on the screen. R.L. Can, Stone King, M. Wilson, AC 1987, mitochondrial DNA. That's what you're referencing, Tony?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and you went and looked it up because this is a source that he quoted, that he copy pasted. You went and looked it up, and it actually refutes what he's saying.
Yes.
Done.
So, I don't know how you can claim that this, to have a position that where your own citations directly contradict your assertions. Soft tissue in dinosaur, if there is sometimes some soft tissue preserved in some classes of dinosaur fossils.
Wait a second.
But we know the mechanism by which that occurs, or we can postulate mechanisms by which that occurs.
Hang on. We're talking about soft tissue in dinosaurs as evidence of Noah's flood. Yet there's no other evidence of Noah's great flood.
None.
Zero.
I mean, zero.
And when they say soft tissue,
evidence.
When they say soft tissue, it's not actually like they found like skin and like actual like soft tissue. There were fibers. They were collagen fibers that were found that was thought that collagen fibers would break down way before this. But with the discovery of this and the discovery of this in other parts of the world, because once Mary Schweitzer discovered it, then we were able to look at it and say, oh wow, this we think this is a unique way for things to be fossilized. That stuff we thought would be destroyed as actually kept around. So it must require an extremely rich environment, extremely rich, I think, in like irons and a couple of other things, and very specific conditions for this to occur. Yeah. So we created a predictive model, and we went out looking for where these things were most likely to happen, and we found more. So yes, it's just a very rare form of fossilization.
The other argument to this is, so does Mary Schweitzer conclude on the basis of her findings that Noah's flood occurred? No, she does not. Does she conclude on the basis of her findings that dinosaurs did not live millions of years ago? No, she does not. So how can you claim that this is evidence of something that the people who analyzed it, the experts who deal in this thing as a profession, do not accept as evidence for the position you've adopted? You're taking evidence that other people have analyzed and you're saying this means that. No, it doesn't. They don't agree with you.
That's the problem. That's the biggest problem with what you do there, Otangelo, is you take bits and pieces of people's papers and findings and present it as evidence of certain things. When you do that out of context, you lose you lose ground, right? Because instead of making a point, the only thing that you're really doing is showing that you're not you're either unable to comprehend the entire context of the piece of evidence that you're pulling from, or you're being dishonest when you cherry pick certain things. Because I could go to the Bible, cherry pick the Bible to disprove the Bible. Just like that. Mm-hmm. Simple, right? Taking things out of context. You got to look at the entire piece, right? So you can't just say, well, somebody so-and-so says this little piece right here in a freaking paper or a dissertation this big, you find 4 lines out of it that say, well, this is the evidence they used, but you're not using it the way they're using it. To attribute it to the author of a paper or the author of a study out of context is dishonest at best.
Oh, interesting here.
If the scientific evidence, if the cosmological evidence supported your position, then everybody who was an authority in this discipline would support your position. They don't support your position, which means that your interpretation of the data is correct.
So I'm assuming this is a geophysics question. It says he said that 10,000 years ago, the Earth's magnetic field was 128 times as strong as it is today.
That is nonsense.
Okay, from the geophysicist's mouth himself. You posed the question. I posed it directly to the guy who will know how to answer that question, and apparently,
okay,
it's bullshit.
There are multiple. So we can determine the intensity of Earth's magnetic field using the orientation of sediment crystals as they deposit in marine environments, and the claim that Tangelo is making there is utterly ridiculous.
Yep.
There was a significant deviation in Earth's magnetic field about 48,000 years ago. I forget what the name of that particular event is called, but it's got a Lechamps excursion or something like that. I'll look it up. But they make these. It's just a ridiculous assertion, and I mean, we are aware we have fossil evidence in the geological record for 300 magnetic reversals of Tangelo. When did they occur? Are you saying that there has been a magnetic reversal once every 20 years for the past 6,000 years? Or did they all happen all at once, right at the beginning there, like one magnetic reversal a year and for the first 300 years or so?
Let me ask a question. What was the original quote? What did he originally say? That the 10,000 years ago, Earth's magnetic field was 128 times as strong as it is today. Wait a minute. Nobody say a word. Does anybody see the glaring issue with that statement? Outside of the scientific whatever. What is the glaring issue with the 10,000 years ago, the Earth's magnetic field was 128 times? What's wrong with that?
Is 10 bigger than 6?
I think so. I would rather have $10 than $6.
Oh, I totally missed it. Regios, $5, $5 freedom dollars. Thank you very much, Regios. Says, JL, did you hear Otangelo only likes to be spanked by DD? Thought I'd share a funny comment I heard Otangelo say. This is true. Otangelo did say that he'd like to appear on streams with Darth Dawkins so that he could be spanked by him. This was, I'm quoting the person himself. He said this live. I believe there's a recording of it on Tom's channel. Thank you, Regios, for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, Tangelo, how do you reconcile that position that one of your pieces of evidence directly contradicts your claim that the Earth is 6,500 years old?
Yeah, Commander Darklight.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you cherry pick things out of context to try and bolster your position without understanding the evidence that you're using.
Tony pointed it out. The very first thing that he put up there, that first, I guess the first reference that he put up there, Tony went and dug into it and looked at it and says it debunks what he says. It literally says 200,000 years ago. But Tangelo, how is that possible if it's only 6,000 to 10,000 years old? Sorry, bud. Stop using other people's work incorrectly. That is what you're doing. And it's been made very clear to me that Tangelo is attempting to basically, copy pasta and hijack the stream. We don't really have to pay attention to him. Tony is here and will, go PhD Toba all over his ass. Because it's what Tony does best.
It is.
I am, although I am very, very curious, the whole thing, the 10,000 years old, whatever like this. We don't even need to go back. Go at least, we can go with DNA and genetics like that. But you live in Australia. the wonderful and incredible Aboriginal people.
What time is it in Australia right now?
So it is 1 p.m. in Australia.
Awesome.
Otangelo, what time is it where you're at? Why the difference?
I don't think he's a flat earther.
Yes, he is.
Is he a flat?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Anywho,
Sorry.
wrote in the last name said, "Oh, thank you." Wrote in the last name for $5 freedom dollars. Says, "I think Otangelo is a masochist. It just comes here for the pain. His safe word is Daddy Darth." But the absolutely amazing, and just the incredible Aboriginal people have a history going back 70,000 years.
Yeah, well, it's not really history, but there is evidence. There is archaeological evidence. History, to be technical, is sort of stuff that's written down. But there is demonstrable archaeological evidence.
This is not one of the things.
At least 65,000 years.
Yeah, this is not one of the things that the can has kicked out so far that we have to make our our best guesses about. This is something that we know this. I mean, the evidence goes back 65, 70,000 years for the Aboriginal people alone. So
I think Mungo Man is like 50,000 years old. I think there are campfires that are 65,000 years old. There's a bunch of evidence, and I mean there is some evidence of human interaction with the Americas on the same sort of time scale, going back to about 50,000 years ago.
My mistake, Otangelo. I thought you had told me once that you were a flat earther. That was my mistake.
Oh, so he's not. Okay.
He's not. No, he's not.
Well,
my mistake.
At least he can accept some science and evidence. Some science and evidence.
Some science and evidence.
Okay. So, I looked it up, and there's Otangelo, do you have a reference at all for that 128 times paleomagnetic intensity? I decided that I would rather go and look it up, and because I've got some references right here, because it feeds into cosmogenic isotope dating. You can use the abundance of cosmogenic isotopes and to sort of separate out the magnetic field intensity, in addition to the paleomagnetic records I was describing before. There's absolutely no evidence of a 128. If the field were 128 times stronger, that it would vastly more effectively deflect cosmic rays. So cosmic ray abundances would be significantly reduced, and that's not what we observe.
Yep. You guys play sports? Anybody play sports? Like pickup games and whatnot, you know what I mean? Like pickup games, you know what I mean? Oh, like go to the yard and you play a pickup game, right?
I'm in my fucking 40s, man.
Well, I'm not saying now, but you've done it in the past, right?
Yeah.
So, yes. So every team or every pickup sport, everybody's got that guy. They call him the ringer.
Okay.
Yeah. The person who's way above the grade of the game.
We're pointing at the ringer right now.
That's our ringer.
We're pointing at the ringer. That's the ringer.
Because he just said a whole bunch of words that, whereas I speak English, and I understood. I understood that he was speaking English, that Tony was speaking English.
Ruin the last name for $5 freedom dollars. Thank you so much, Ruin the last name, for the super chat. Otangelo isn't a complete idiot. There's still parts missing. Tim Boldman, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming, for checking out the show. Says, I'm sort of new. I know DD and a CC, but who is Otangelo?
Well, Otangelo used to be one of Darth Dawkins' I don't want to call him lapdog because
sycophant.
Sycophant, I guess. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna give Otangelo a bone here. I don't think he was ever really a sycophant of Darth Dawkins because he definitely challenged him a little more than most. I think Otangelo Concrete later on started to challenge Dawkins a little more. But I don't think Otangelo's ever been like the Parakeet or was it Jaybird?
Tone Lock,
and all those ones that just got more of Darth Dawkins' balls in their mouth. So yeah, I mean, whereas Otangelo, if he had to choose between me or Darth Dawkins, would probably choose Darth Dawkins. He's not going to do it while gargling his balls.
This is true.
So
Red Link says, Otangelo, go find Darth Dawkins and invite him. So he can see my new emoji. He can check out my emojis. And
Darth Dawkins is scared shitless to appear in any, and I'm going to say this right now, he is scared shitless to appear in any debate that I moderate, period.
He's terrified of the ringer.
He's terrified of the ringer for certain.
He's terrified of the ringer.
Absolutely.
The ringer. Okay, because Darth, I mean, here you go, Tony. I'll present this. You can't know anything about reality because without God, it's an open system. And that means anything could change at any given moment. So you can't say that anything is consistent. You have to presuppose the uniformity of nature, and you can't justify that. That's unjustifiable.
But his intellectual model has more things in it than my intellectual model. I have to assume the constancy of nature. He has to assume the constancy of nature and the constancy of God.
Oh, but God revealed that he wouldn't change any of that. That's all revealed.
Except that he did. He says so in the Bible. And furthermore, things are changing all the time. Here's my question for Otangelo: is slavery immoral? If it is, why does the Bible not say that it's immoral? Is rape immoral? If it is, why does the Bible not say that rape is immoral? We've got 10 commandments, and of those 10 commandments, 4 of them are about the appropriate manner in which to kiss God's ass. And it's worth pointing out that in the 10 commandments, God doesn't say other gods don't exist. He just says that he's jealous of them and you should worship him instead.
For I am a jealous God. Why? If you're all powerful, what the fuck you got to be jealous about? That makes no sense. Even if you don't want to go into the omnipotent range, you just want to say he's all powerful. You don't want to accept the omniscience or the omnipotence. Why would an all powerful being be jealous of anything? You're all powerful.
What does God need with the starship?
What does God need with a starship? Thank you. What does God need with a starship? Thank you, James T. Kirk, for the excellent observation that you may just be speaking to a godlike alien and not God himself.
He wasn't that bad in the movie.
No, he wasn't that bad.
He got better in the films.
What does God need with a starship? Oh, this is okay. And apparently, okay, give him this. Otangelo says he's no longer speaking. I am not talking to DD anymore. Is it because you choose not to, or because he blocked you? Who pulled the pin on that grenade, Otangelo? I'm very curious.
Otangelo did when he decided to come on the show and debate you. Go ahead, Tony.
Well, I just wanted to say, look, I don't have a problem with people who want to be religious. Okay.
Right.
A lot of people derive great emotional comfort from their religion. And I'm not going to attack somebody on the basis of having a religion. And if Otangelo were content to just say that he has a religion, he has chosen to believe in it, that would be it. But instead, he has chosen. He has several times lied, just flat out lied during this stream. No, Earth's magnetic field is not young. That's a lie. There are some hypotheses that it is only a few 100 million years old, which is relatively young compared to the Earth. But that's in no way a support. But that seems unlikely because early Earth had an atmosphere. One of our hypotheses, the way we think things work is you need a magnetic field in order to have an atmosphere. We know early Earth had an atmosphere, therefore I kind of think that the magnetic field must have been a reasonably early property of the Earth. So the statement that the magnetic field is young is false. It's demonstrably false. It's just utterly false. That is a lie. And I don't, well, then how about instead of making claims and then having to retract them, Angelo, just don't make the claims until you know you're right.
I was just about to point out. That was he said I retracted the claims because I did not find the source. But here's the problem, Otangelo, and what PhD Tony is getting, and I strongly agree with him on this. It's like why make the reference if you don't know? But here's the problem. There's a deeper issue here. This means that you are willing to jump on any form of argumentation or proposed hypothesis or evidence or whatever anybody calls evidence, just because it supports your narrative.
It appears to support your narrative.
Yeah,
it doesn't even, like I said, that piece of evidence didn't support your narrative at all because you said 6,500 years, and that piece of evidence said 10,000 years. So
you will jump on any ship that seems to make your story float. Anything at all that would appear on face value without any further digging. Like the very quotation you put in this chat, the very quote that you cited a source. Tony went and looked in that source. It took him 10 seconds and found out that the source you cited debunked your claim. You will jump on any horse that you think will run in the direction you want to run.
And Chancellor asks a good question. Makes a good point. Even if the young Earth creation, even if the Earth is not young, that doesn't mean God exists. That's fine. I'm not arguing that the Earth is old, therefore God doesn't exist. I don't personally believe God exists, and I have my reasons for doing so, but I don't try and convince other people that they have to believe that God doesn't exist. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is, if you want to believe in a God, fine, you have every right to. And I hope that it brings you great joy and comfort in your life. By all means, go right ahead. But what you can't do is misrepresent science. When you misrepresent the science, you are lying. And a lie is unethical. God does not approve of you lying. If you don't want to have the debate about the age of the year, why is it that as soon as I come on the stream, you're telling me you're making fatuous claims about the age of the Earth that I can easily debunk? Leave it alone then. Just stop making these claims because they're false. They're lies, Otangelo. And please have more respect for the people around you than to lie to them. And please have more respect for scientists than to lie about them and their work.
Yeah.
Just stop doing it.
Okay. Sean Alexander, thank you, Sean Alexander, says, let's put the cart before the horse and then panic when we can't find the horse.
Sorry, I do realize I am giving Otangelo way too much airtime, but I'm hoping that perhaps with that we can get him to be more lucid. Anyway.
I mean, there's 30 people watching, and I don't see 30 different people, talking in the chat. So there's obviously people watching who are just not interacting, and that's fine. They don't require an interaction there, but they do get to see this, and who knows who it is from either Discord or someplace, and this is information that they may not have and information that they need in order to come at questions like this or to come at interlocutors like Otangelo to come at them honestly and realize, no, dude, Otangelo is not an expert. Otangelo does not have the information. He's already been debunked, I think, like 4 times by the people who are doing the work that he refused to do. So when it comes down to it, Otangelo, stop being dishonest. Be honest, man. Be honest about what you find. Actually do the work like we do. And I think you'll be in a better spot. There you go. Because you rejected the claim, yes, but the problem is there's a deeper-seated issue, Otangelo, that you refuse to see, that you will strap yourself to any horse you think is going in your direction. Anything at all, without even investigating. You will just jump on that horse and ride it. Well, guess what, bud? That's how you get nowhere. And that is why you keep getting debunked over and over and over again. I don't even have to do the work now. People in the live chat are doing the work. Guests on my channel are doing the work. The people, the smart people who are educated, who I surround myself with.
He's doing the work.
Yeah.
He did the work himself.
All
Who did the
right.
work?
Well,
Yeah, well,
let's
Tony did.
accept.
Tony did the work
Let's
himself.
No.
let's
Otangelo
accept-
did the work himself when he said 6,500
Yeah.
years old, but here's a piece of evidence that says 10,000 years old.
Oh,
Yeah. But yeah, you're making
self-refutation.
it. Tangela, you retracted the claim. Fine. Does that mean that you're never going to make another claim ever again about the age of the Earth? Because sort of, and the question you asked about the age of the Earth, would God suddenly become impossible if the Earth were 4 billion years old? No. I was a Christian for 30 odd years, and during that time, I never believed that the Earth was only 6,000 years old. And there are plenty of Christians who are in the same position as me. The existence of God does not depend on the age of the Earth. It does not depend on evolution. It doesn't matter if I can't define what God regards as a human, because God has to answer that question, not me. So it's God's judgment. And in fact, I think that there's an argument to be made that certainly at least some animals have enough personality and souls that if there's an afterlife, I'd really like them to be in it as well. So the distinction between humans and animals is not as strong as I think a lot of religious people make out. But regardless, those are theological questions for God to answer, not for me to answer. So the existence of evolution and the evidence in favor of evolution has no impact on belief in God. The belief in God provides emotional comfort, and it provides reinforcement of moral behavior. But what you seem to be doing is engaging in immoral behavior to prop up your belief system. And I know you say, well, I'm not, I'm not sticking by those claims anymore. Well, you've stuck by them for a long time. You keep on repeating them. I can't be the first person to have told you that that claim is incorrect. But you repeated it to me. It just if you had the central message of the Gospels, from my perspective, is treat your neighbor as you would treat yourself. Love one another. That's the key message, and it's a great message. And if faith in God and Christ help you to live that message, all power to you. But you don't need to discard science or lie about science in order to have that perspective, in order to behave in that way. So just don't. Keep your religion. I want you to keep your religion, but I also want you to just enjoy science and benefit from science. So that's what I want for you. I don't want you to be yelled at. I don't want you to be discarded. I don't want to be angry with you. But you've got to start accepting reality, and that's the message. Sorry.
No problem. I would say it. Fred Knotts is calling for an emoji time because apparently Otangelo is very sad. Why are you lying about me? But we're not lying about you, bud. It's you just go back in the tape and there's evidence because it's recorded. But yeah, to stop accusing me of being dishonest if I retract the claim. You retracted one claim because you got found out. You still haven't retracted the one that goes about mitochondrial DNA going back 200,000 years. You used it as a citation and you were proven wrong. You still haven't retracted that one, and your actions kind of belie your words. I mean, when you come out swinging, the Earth is 6,500 years old. Oh wait, no, it's 2,000. Sorry, bud. Yeah, we don't believe you. You have cried wolf one too many times. And now you get the weeping Otangelo emoji. Bring forth the weeping Otangelo emoji so Otangelo can look into the mirror and see his fresh tears. And Fred Knott says, yeah, this is why he ran from the debate. He knew he'd be exposed. Very true. Very, very true.
Because evidence is not about, this is the distinction between somebody who actually understands science and somebody who doesn't. A lot of people think that science is about knowing, and it isn't. Religion is about knowing. Science is about understanding. Science is about developing an understanding of reality and how it works. So let's, if you want to know, I don't know with certainty that the sun is going to rise tomorrow. Based on the evidence I have, I'm quite confident that it will do so.
predictive
But-
modeling.
Yes, but
Yeah.
but I have no guarantee that that will happen. I have no guarantee that my computer will work in the way that I have previously experienced it working. But it seems to work reliably, so I don't second guess it.
Yeah.
It's
Because I don't.
it's just
Stevie B says I don't have that emoji, so I have this instead, and gives the John rap to Otangelo. Don't forget, just to let everybody know, memberships are available. They are 99 cents because they're the lowest I could possibly make them, because I feel that's about how much my content is worth. And
stop it.
You have access to all of the emojis that I've created for the channel. And of course, as we get more members, I will be able to unlock more emojis, and I'll make more funny things about the silly Christians who think that spouting a reality doesn't exist because God, crap like that. I'll do more fun things. It should be super, super entertaining.
JL, I'm about to send you something.
You can send me something? Dude, send it to me real quick. I actually have to run and hit the little. We've been going for 2 hours and 20 minutes, exactly, because I started right on 8. I read 8 o'clock. What is this? Coral? Hey Denise, I am really tired of all these puns. As am I, Carl. As am I. Oh, losing eyes. I have to run and hit the little atheist room for just a brief moment. So I'll let you guys talk. Hold the fort. I will be right back.
Atheist room.
I've been holding it for a minute. I really have been, because I was kind of like,
Okay.
but I don't want to leave like Tony alone on the stream. So it's just like, it's not that I don't trust him. I just it's my stream. And then all of a sudden I leave. Johnny's gone.
Back.
And Tony's like, what do I do? Who do I talk to?
I'll just yell at people.
I don't know what to do with my hands. I will be right back. What's that? No, that's what Otangelo does.
Oh, come on now. Let's not be like that, JL.
But and I apologize for reacting to it. I'm a fairly simple machine. People prod me and I respond. But I thought
it was pretty measured.
Yeah, I didn't yell or anything. So that I'm fairly happy about. But it's just actually what I want for Otangelo is the best. I just want him to I want him to be better and to better understand a reality. It's not. There's no malice in it, and I don't want him to give up his faith. Far from it. If his faith is obviously very important to him. I don't want to damage that. I just want to change the way he interacts with science, because I think that a lot of people, to me, I hate the anti-science movement with a white hot passion.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you kind of like do this all day, every day. It's like your job or something.
That's right.
And if somebody were shitting on my job all day long, I might. Well, I don't know. My job, there's nothing to be passionate about. So shit on my job all you want. I don't give a fuck. But yeah. You obviously you have a passion for what you do, because you have to be passionate about glacial isostatic adjustment to continue doing it, because even the fucking title sounds boring as fuck.
Kind of, yeah. It's actually one of those things that I offered to talk to Aaron Ra on his things. We're good.
You guys should call it. You should start a movement to change it, like Gia Slayer, something make it sound fucking cool, like Gia. Isostatic adjustment.
It used to be called post-glacial rebound, but
that sounds kind of better.
Yeah, but I think as is often the case with scientists, they decided that was rebound is bounce. Is it really bouncing? No, it's not bouncing. So we'll get rid of that one, and we'll go with a vastly more opaque and meaningless name. So yeah, which is why we're losing ground to the anti-science movement to some extent.
Yeah, they have better marketing.
They do.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how they have idiots like fucking Nathan Oakley and Nathan Thompson and all them other fucking morons.
Matt Powell, and that's
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Actually, it's actually, you stupid fuck. I should make fun of his. I should make fun of his speech impediment because he can't control that. But still.
Well, I mean, I think, as much as I've been talking about Atangelo, Matt Powell is fully aware that he is lying.
Yes.
He is fully cognizant of it, as is Kent Hovind. They are unscrupulous con men of the First Order. And it is, Atangelo, I think, is somebody who's been drawn in. But these are the ringleaders, and these are the profiteers. These are the people profiting off people like Atangelo.
Yes, absolutely. A dog produces a dog, just like a cow produces a cow. We do not come from rocks and ducks and fuck that guy.
Yes, he is a complete fucking idiot.
I don't understand why. This is one thing I don't understand about overly religious folks. I don't understand why faith has to be in such dissonance with science. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially about trivial things. Like, what does it matter how old the earth is? Right? So everybody talks about, well, it's because the Bible says God created earth in 6 days and on the seventh day he rested. To which I say, okay, that's a fair point. However, let me ask you this question.
You ever have a 1 turn into a 2?
Yep.
I have.
Yep. So let me ask you this question. Does God die? Well, no, he is Alpha, Omega. He is forever. So he's immortal. Yes.
Eternal.
He's eternal, whatever. Don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck how you want to define it. He never dies, right?
Yeah.
So how long is a day to someone who never dies?
1.
You're too busy putting it into terms that you can understand, and maybe you need to start thinking about the allegorical nature in which it was written.
Well, they also say that God is atemporal.
Just because he throws temper tantrums every now and again doesn't. I mean,
I know.
I'm just teasing.
Not temperamental, atemporal.
But that was always my get out of Joe Frico. I mean, even if you want to get technical, they're using the term day before he's even created the sun. Really?
Exactly.
How long is a day before the sun exists?
Exactly.
Would you like to be a little more specific on that?
That was the thing that got me, was the infinite regress of God before, I think I'll go ahead and start with creation now. Because technically, but that's what the atemporal thing is. That like time is not a thing to God. So whereas it's temporal to us, but not temporal to God. So, but this still means that God still was there forever, eternally, until at one point arbitrarily decided to create creation, or to create everything.
Well, he wanted a new toy. He got tired of playing with his Transformers and wanted to play with G.I. Joes.
Yeah. I think Sir Little Wolf said, "Ew." No, it wasn't to what I said though. That's what happens sometimes. You sit down and you're like, or you go into the bathroom and you're like, it's number 2. you go. And
I can't trust that fart.
Everything loosens up, and you're kind of like, whoop.
This conversation.
Damn you, biological functions. I know what Johnny's talking about. You get that fart, and you're like, "Oh, I got a fart," and then if you get you push it right to the event horizon, and you're kind of like, "Nope."
Is this? Am I the only one thinking that this conversation has dwelt here significantly too long?
Very true. Very true. Oh, well, that's good. Well, I mean, there's no Irish here, so someone's got to keep up the scatological content to make
Do we?
Yeah, I think we do.
Apparently Otangelo ran away.
Yeah,
Well.
I think we upset him. We hurt his feelings.
Yakety sax. Let's see. This was a fantastic. I know who are they saying this about? I don't know who they're saying, but they're the Jay and Silent Bob of the debunking community. Sir Little Wolf said that. I don't know who he's talking about though. If he's talking about me, then that's one of the greatest compliments I've ever received in my life.
Wait, but which one would be Jay and which one would be Silent Bob?
I would be Jay, you would be Silent Bob. If he's talking about us two. If he's talking about you and PhD Tony, you are again Silent Bob and PhD Tony is Jay. If he's talking about the two of us, like me, PhD Tony, and me, then PhD Tony is Jay and I'm Silent Bob.
But Jay is a funny one. One with all the personality.
Yes.
How the fuck can you be Jay? Either one of you bastards.
I'm not claiming to be Jay.
Oh no, he's saying Johnny and JL are the Jay and Silent Bob of debunking, and I think that makes PhD Tony Scott Mosier. You don't know who Scott Mosier is. Oh,
frosted me like a fucking chocolate cake.
No, that's not Scott Mosier. That's Jeff Anderson.
That's just who I automatically go to.
Oh, okay. There's a good one. No, not the Jay and Silent Bob. The Dante and Randall.
Yeah.
Of debunking.
Dante and Randall. Yes, that's the.
I think. No, wait. JL is the Brody of the group. I'm Brody Bruce. I would stink palm a motherfucker. I would. The stinky palm. Would you like a chocolate covered pretzel?
Kids just say no.
Would you like a chocolate covered pretzel?
I was.
Mr. Svenning has come down with an unexpected case of dysentery.
Which moved quite quickly, let's be honest.
Yes, it did. The incubation rate on that dysentery was pretty extreme.
And there's also the. I was just impressed that they got Michael Rooker for that role.
Oh yeah, I actually heard about that. I was listening to what was it? Kevin Smith released a video where he did a scene deconstruction of the chocolate covered pretzel scene at the Stinky Palm. And the reason Michael Rooker had his head shaved like that is because one, Kevin Smith asked him to do it, and that was because when Kevin Smith wrote his Superman script, which unfortunately went nowhere, he's told the story hundreds of times about what happened with it. But in his Superman script, he envisioned Michael Rooker as Lex Luthor. That was his Lex Luthor. And because the script fell apart, he was like, what better way to get what I want than to have Michael Rooker be in the show and be bald? And it's like, that was him getting his Lex Luthor. And then the moment where he's like, ha, I've got you. Where he steals the pretzels from Brody and has the police whisk them away. That was his Lex Luthor moment.
Oh, okay.
And Michael Rooker's a badass. Of course, this is at the time where he was literally taking every job he could take.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because there are a lot of actors who I don't think get the credit that they deserve. And I'm going to step up. I watched a film the other day where I was kind of blown away by the central performance in it. Till Death, though it does misspell Till, starring Megan Fox.
I didn't hear about that. I heard really.
Yeah, I liked it. I really enjoyed it.
I haven't seen anything. I mean, I haven't seen her do solidly in anything since Jennifer's Body.
Yeah, well, she's quite good in this, and in fact, it's quite a difficult role in the sense that the camera is barely off her. Like she is she literally quite literally handcuffed to the plot for the vast majority of the movie. So
Interesting. I'll have to
so
give it a shot.
but yeah, they're worth a watch in my opinion. Anyway.
Awesome. Oh, I see.
All right,
some
trans
beautiful-
girl.
I
We'll
see
see
some
you
beautiful-
next time.
See you later,
Take it
trans
easy,
girl.
trans girl. Hope you're feeling better. Let's see. We've got some new people up there. Oh, yes.
It's a film, Clive Wells.
Sean Alexander, like the back of a Volkswagen?
Mhm.
It tends to have his way with them in a very uncomfortable way. What, like the back of a Volkswagen? Yes, Sir Little Wolf. Rooker would make a great Lex Luthor. He would. Be
I don't think I've
fantastic.
seen Michael Rooker in a role that I didn't like.
Dude, Merle.
I'm trying to think of, well,
Merle
of course,
in the,
yeah.
Merle in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He nailed that role.
He did nail that role.
I love that moment when he's handcuffed to the roof. And just that opening moment. He's handcuffed to the roof.
Yeah.
The door is about to give way. His means of getting out is like, I mean, just that moment when he's like, fuck this. I ain't begged you once yet. I'm not going to start now. And just do it himself. And then later on when they're trying to track what happened to him, and Norm Reese is like, and they find out like he cut his hand off, and then he cauterized his wrist on that stove. And it was like, and then he was like, told you, only thing that can kill Merle is Merle.
Yeah.
I believe Michael Rooker would do these things if necessary.
I remember seeing him in The Replacement Killers.
Okay.
Chow Yun Fat and Mira Sorvino. That was a really good action film.
I like that film. Yes,
It was a really good action film, and acting wise, the best actor in there was Michael Rooker. His character was the only one that I really believed. I mean, I believe Chow Yun Fat because he just kind of was that stoic, super badass. And Mira Sorvino is like, I could do without her. She's kind of nice to look at, but I don't think she's a great actress. She's no Paul Sorvino, but Michael Rooker was
Paul Sorvino.
Yeah.
Paul Sorvino is pretty amazing.
But Michael Rooker in there was fucking amazing.
Apparently a little difficult to work with in the sense that he likes to keep his voice in shape. So every now and again he bursts out into some opera with his vocal cords. Apparently, without warning, it can be quite startling.
Michael Rooker?
No.
No. Paul Sorvino.
Oh, I was going to say.
He's a trained operatic performer.
No, I knew that. I knew that. Right. I thought we were talking about Michael Rooker. It's like, wow,
No.
That would be the shit.
Then Repo,
that would be the shit.
Then Repo the genetic opera, he would have been amazing to be on because most of the time he's singing, and that means he just gets to do it whenever he wants. It'd be like, okay, great, yeah. I would have loved to see that. Facty's in the house. Good to see you, Facty. And yes, in fact, you missed Otangelo. He read, and in fact, he's correct. So I missed nothing. This is true. You missed that. Actually, I will say this: in fact, you did miss him get debunked live like 4 times, like
by himself.
And he did it to himself too. Yeah, shot himself in his own foot. It was funny. I won't lie.
One was veiled. The other one was like fucking.
Yeah.
You have a hammer.
No, I have a hex driver.
Oh, okay. There we go. For a second. Well, wait a second. No, hang on a second. I have a hammer. Okay, I was going to sue me.
Oh no,
I can't do that.
I don't know. He didn't sue Nathan Thompson, but
this is true.
Nathan Thompson didn't have anything to fucking take.
Alpha Kid says we done logic pounded him out of the chat again.
Didn't make it hard. I'm sorry, but I can't take pleasure in that victory because it's like if Michael Jordan were to play the Special Kids. The Special Kids, as good as they are in the Special Olympics, try as they may, they still can't dunk.
Now I feel bad about it because
I know
if
that's what I'm saying.
If that were the situation, then if you were to watch this happen, then Michael Jordan just like dunk, like slam, like just like come
dunking all these kids,
and then just be like, oh, like in their face. Now I'm gonna
have you ever
really,
seen the
Michael?
Yeah.
You ever seen the clip of Boris Johnson playing rugby?
No, but I imagine this is hilarious.
He's such a clown. There's a Benny Hill. There's a Benny Hill yakety sax worthy guy right there.
I just don't. I can't believe that England said they looked over at the States and said, "Wow, We can do that.
Hold our tea.
Oi. Oh,
No,
this for me, will you?
No, I'm here to bring you tea. I'm here to. No, we're not going to talk about any of that. I'm here to bring you tea. It's quite cold out here, and I saw you standing out here. And there won't be any questions. We're going to bring you tea. I have tea for you. Tea and biscuits for you. So yeah, enjoy this. Enjoy the tea. It's like going to bring you tea.
Yeah.
Oh, the dude is he is such trash.
In one country, we have an orange, wispy-haired asshole throwing fucking basketball shooting rolls of fucking paper towels to flood and hurricane victims. The other country said, "Let me give you some tea."
That was so cringe. We will the cringiest 4 years in this, and there were some 4 year periods in American history that were pretty fucking cringe.
When you have people who are legitimately longing for the time that George W. Bush was president.
Yeah. I like it. So sorry. Can who come on cam? I just looked at the chat. I just looked at the chat, and I guess can you come on cam? I'd rather not. But that's for OnlyFans. But I just shared the.
Okay, something's killing Joe. What the fuck? What happened? What did I miss?
Click the link.
The link in the private chat?
Yes.
It just mows that kid down.
What the fuck?
That was a touch rugby game too.
That's hilarious.
God dang. Are you all right? Would you want some tea? It's a little Chinese kid.
Yeah, I think it was in Hong Kong or Japan, one of the two. The Japanese version.
He just straight brutalized it. He's got like 170 pounds on him. Fuck out of my way. I'm taking it to the line. This one's for all the empires we lost.
You fucking just kills that kid.
How can I share this? I have to share this for the people who can't hit the
link.
Oh my god. How do I share this? How do I do this?
I shared it in the chat, but you can
can I screen share
you
this?
should show it.
Yeah, screen share.
Okay, hang on a second.
Oh my
Let me pull this
god.
out. Let me do this. Okay, hang on a second. I gotta bring it all the way back. We gotta full screen this bitch and hang on a second. Actually, let me reduce that. Let me go here. For those who weren't able to see it, you want to see why Johnny is like dying. I will share this over here. Share screen window. Oh, Chrome tab. No. Yes, here we go. I will share this bad boy. Let's blow this fucker up and just go.
That's what he said.
Here we go.
Watch this shit.
Touch rugby.
Let's see that. Instant replay.
Kills that kid. Oh, Jesus Christ.
He straight lays that kid out.
Fucking murders that kid.
There you go.
The sun will never set. The sun will never set on the empire.
Jesus Christ. Oh man.
No, Hey, Sean Alexander. Damn. Orange is a dick.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
That is fucking brilliant. And wrote Noah's name, and he still doesn't make a touchdown.
Oh
But
man.
that's what you kind of reminded me of when you were talking about, because I wouldn't go light. Like if I were Michael Jordan up against the Special Olympics guys, I'd be going hard in the paint. I'd be channeling my inner Boris. That's what
He's
I'd
like
be doing.
going hard in the paint. He's like, what is the man is like in his fucking late 40s, early 50s. I'm going to go hard in the paint against this single-digit child. If your balls had dropped, you would have been able to defend it appropriately.
touch rugby. You only need to touch them.
Fucking mowed that kid down.
And the kid, I'm not sure if you've got they've got a still of it. Let me give you the web page, because they've got this from multiple angles in this photo.
Oh, Sean Alexander, was that an interpretive dance version of Brexit?
So if you look at that link, it's got a still on the top of the page.
Okay, I gotta share that. I gotta share that image.
He kind of looks like Gary Busey.
He kind of does.
Look like Gary Busey. Here we go.
God.
I'll just so people can see that picture. Let me go back to this, and I will share my screen. So this is an alternate. Angle.
Oh,
he's got a real Gary Busey. He's got a real Gary Busey look to it. He really does.
And the kid's like, I tap, right? I tap and he stops running. That's how this game is played, right?
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, Boris, what are you doing?
Mowing kids down.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is Boris Johnson.
I haven't laughed that hard in I don't know how long.
I mean, this goes. I mean, what did he call the other members of Parliament? Do you remember what Tony? What he called them? Protoplasmic jellies.
Yeah.
I guess on the field too. If you want the protoplasmic jelly to be able to defend.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, the cut and thrust of parliamentary debate. It's
Sir Little says you do not treat short round like that.
Dr. Jones.
Time for love, Dr. Jones.
Oh man. Oh Jesus.
Dr. Jones, no time for love.
You believe there are people who thought
shit,
that
there's a kid guarding the goal.
Yeah, right. You believe that there are people who thought that that was Glenn from The Walking Dead? Oh man.
You could do it, Yogi. You could replace Boris's head with Negan and Glenn, and then Glenn's head on the kid. It'd be kind of the same thing.
It would be kind of the same thing.
Alpha Kid, I know it says Boris Johnson is a bleached Trump. Yeah, he's a bleached
kind
Trump.
of is. Yeah.
Did I miss
just with a bigger vocabulary?
Did I miss somebody becoming a member? Because I see Sean Alexander is a member, but I didn't.
I didn't see a membership notification after I joined the stream.
That's the one thing that's one thing that concerns me is people who become. I mean, it's great that people become members when you're offline. It's like when you're not there, but I don't get notifications if people become members when I'm not streaming. So I just have to go and I have to look. And so if I missed that, Sean Alexander, thank you so much for joining the Godless Army. You have access to all of the amazing emojis that I have created just for you. Go ahead and punch those emojis out. Crying Otangelo to mark the occasion that Otangelo left crying.
Yes, it is. It is very sad when you go around and tell lies, and then people say you're a liar. Well, I've got a strategy by which you can avoid that happening, and that's don't tell lies.
Don't tell lies.
Exactly. Or Boris Johnson will fucking steamroll you.
Yes, well, that's true.
Boris Johnson will straight clown your ass in the fucking paint. Just take you to the paint, man. Ah! Get the fuck out of my way. I'm going to scold this. I'm going to scold this like I scolded Brexit. Just about the same. You plowed through everybody and didn't quite cross the line. So,
yeah,
not a good start, Boris.
not a good start.
I love the children as I bulldoze them to the ground. Oh, Jesus.
It was only a foreign child. It wasn't one of my constituents.
That's right.
Constituents.
I didn't bring up Brexit for nothing.
Now, when he's grown, he will know his place. He will know where he stands as at the foot of the British Empire.
Oh, stands, more like where he kneels.
All right.
Oh,
well, it is 2 hours 50 minutes in, and there's a boring Johnson will WWE your ass. Somersault.
Yes, you will.
That's a fight. That's a physical fight I'd like to see. Boris Johnson versus Donald Trump, just in the cage. I want to see that fight. That's a fight I'd see. Get off me. Get off me.
Whose wig pops off first?
Oh, let's see. Okay, so Sean Alexander said, when does the March come out? I'm thinking merch. He says merch. He meant merch. I've asked for assistance in getting the shirt done and making sure that the image looks solid, so I can get it put on the t-shirt so it looks nice and clean. And once those are set, I will link those to my channel somehow so people can go and get them. I have to set up a new Teespring because I don't want to set it up under the Weekend Horror banner. I will set it up under my personal one, and that way you can get Bridge the Divide t-shirts, and I will have those available soon. And you will see I will link those up. So
just put it as you send it to me. That works. Just slaps it on the center of the shirt.
No, the problem is that you get like a black square on the t-shirt.
Oh, well, so you just got to save it as a PNG. That's all.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, even with the PNG, it still creates a black square. I need a transparent background on that one.
So you've got do you have the Adobe Suite or just Premiere?
I have Premiere. I think I have the Adobe Suite as well.
If you have the Adobe Suite, then all you got to do is pop it into Photoshop, and then you can remove the background on it.
Intriguing.
And then save it as a PNG.
Okay, interesting. I'll see if I can make that happen. And we'll get the shirt done, and I'll get that posted up so that everybody can see it.
Just send it to me, and I'll do it right now. Send it to me again because it's way back up in our chat history. Send it to me right now.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. We hope.
And it was the banner one, not the stacked one.
Right.
Because the stacked one didn't look quite right.
Yep.
Where did it go? Wait, no, that's the desktop. Sorry. I need to go there. I need to go to YouTube pictures.
Mm-hmm. PhD Tony, when are we going to get to see PhD Tony Hates Literature?
Well, it's a good question. It's been thrown off schedule a little bit by my recent battles with my health, but I am slowly and surely moving in the right direction, and I'm feeling more energetic. So Chris Durham was very enthusiastic to work with me on that, and I'm looking forward to getting back to a position where I can. Where I can and will do that. I need to. I'm going to apologise to J.L. Warren in advance because the two authors I have lined up are
one of them Stephen King.
No, Lovecraft and
okay.
Yeah.
Lovecraft and Tolkien are the two that I really have an objection to, but there are others. There are some others.
I'm curious to watch this myself.
Sax Roma might be an interesting one, though he's not that highly regarded anymore. But it's interesting. I read a Sax Roma. I've only read one Fu Manchu book, and it was very interesting because Fu Manchu's evil plan was to assassinate Hitler. I'm just going, this book has not aged well.
All right. Well, it is getting up there 2 hours, 54 minutes in, and I think I closed it off. I think 3 hours is a good point. I think it makes a good, a good, well-rounded stream. And not to mention, I've got other stuff coming up, and I've got to finish editing my next video, which should be out next week. I just want to make sure this one's put together well enough, and the timing is solid on it. So before we pump out of here, or jump out of here, not pump, jump. Before we jump out of here, what do you guys got going on?
Well, I'll be back here in about 7 hours for the beardsman again. No, not 7 hours.
5 p.m. We're doing 5 p.m. again?
5 p.m. I think so. That's good.
Yeah, 5 p.m. our time.
Yeah.
Erica says that doesn't work for her. I said, too goddamn bad, bitch.
Okay.
No, you didn't.
She was upstairs in the room when I said it, and I was outside, but whatever.
Yeah.
And I still didn't even say it.
You still didn't even say it.
I would never talk to my wife like that. Not because I'm afraid of her.
You just had to jump. You had to throw that in there, right?
You should be, though. You should be.
I'm too stupid to be afraid of her.
Okay. But yeah, I'll.
Oh, hey, Daryl M. Jumping in right there at the end. I saw Daryl M jumped in, and I saw Night Noodler jump in, and John Eagle jump in. So good to see y'all. Unfortunately, you caught us right here at the tail end of it. So we got 4 beardsmen coming up 5 p.m. Central Time, and to accommodate for PhD Tony and Irish Demon, and then of course the usual stuff in the work, Dingleberries, and
I've got Dingleberries and the Azaplat tickets in the work. I didn't put out Dingleberries on Friday because work has been really weird. My schedule has been kind of thrown off. Working all the way up, I have like an hour and a half drive to get home. By the time I get home, I want to eat dinner and go to bed and whatnot. But I'm figuring it out. It'll be a little different now that I'm out of training. So
sweet. And what about you, Mr. T?
I am still
fool.
working. Yeah, I've got a couple of ideas for very short videos, and one idea that I'm sort of working on for a longer one. But not sure how. In real time. I'm looking at one that's only a few minutes long, and the other one's about Rayleigh waves. And I might start a new series, I think. And I'm thinking of titling this one, "What Shape is the Earth and How Do We Know?"
Because we can fucking see it.
Well, yes. Aside from that, but that would be cheating. Right?
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. See, got you there. That's what I'm thinking of doing. And yeah, like you say, I need to reconnect with Chris Durham music channel as my health permits, and start work on some PhD Tony loves literature, appreciates literature.
Awesome.
Okay.
Why am I suddenly reminded of the best PhD Tony joke I heard, and that was, it was raining outside, and PhD Tony was going to take umbrella, but he hesitated.
Yes, and it's an umbrella. Yeah.
Yep.
My pleasure, Sir Little Wolf. Thank you. It made my evening so much better. Always a pleasure. I'm glad we can entertain, and glad that we can inform, and that is the point. Is that we love you guys, and all of you, each and every single one of you. We love you all so much, and thank you for all the new channel members. Thank you, Plot for becoming a channel member. Appreciate it. And all the new channel members, obviously, you get access to all of the emojis. As we get more channel members, we will get more emojis. And I have a new video coming up this week where I revisit Kyle Butt. And Kyle Butt tries to deliver evidence for God, like 6 proofs for God. I'll give you a spoiler. He doesn't. But we'll dissect that when I get into that video. It's actually I think it's quite fun. It was fun for me. I don't know if it'll be fun for everybody else because it gets kind of deep. But it was a lot of fun. I am loving doing live chats. I don't see myself anytime soon going like 8, 9, 10, 15 hours like Team Skeptic does, because to do that, I have to get drunk, and you all don't want to see me drunk because I'm so stupid.
I kind of do.
Now, you don't want to see me drunk on a stream. That would just not be good. But maybe a light buzz. nicely toasted.
Three
Nicely
sheets.
Toasted. No, you don't want to see me three sheets. You don't want to see me 3 sheets to the fuck. Now, if we go to Ireland, if we actually go to like Ireland and we visit, you will see me 3 sheets to the wind. I will get. I'm not going to Ireland and not getting fucked up. And of course, if I do get fucked up, I know that you guys will record me. So this is the way it's going to be. I have accepted this. This is what's going to happen. Yeah. So that's the way it's going to be. Yeah. And so I do have that video coming up. And of course, I will continue to pump out content. And of course, Week in Horror every Wednesday at Central Time. Wednesday.
We're going to have big announcements Wednesday, I think.
Really?
So we're going to have a big one. Yeah.
We're going to go over this on the breakdown?
No, we're going to go over this, you and me, right now. Here in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, so we'll talk about this here in a minute.
Yeah.
So thank you all so very, very much for all. Oh, Sean Alexander, Ireland has over 17,000 pubs. Challenge accepted.
That's if you count everybody's house.
This is true. All right. So thank you all so much. Thank you all to the new members. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Thank you all the super chats. You guys were amazing. And that is pretty much it. So we are going to say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
And as usual, be safe, be excellent to each other. We'll see you next time.